GG! The Mouthful Podcast is brought to you by GoodGame.rock, the most welcoming gaming community on Facebook. Visit us at www.goodgame.rocks.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
But you know, poor body.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
To say that's I can't stand stuff like that, so I always end up going back to my regulars, and I want to try new places. You know how I am. I just fucking want to try new shit.
Yeah.
I want to try new places. I want to try this up, but I end up going, get your shit together. Let me know when you got your shit together, and I may order from you. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Arugas and them, and yeah, so Heart of Jerusalem, and the food's good, for the right guys. If anybody's listening who happens to be in this area, the food is good. I'm not saying it's bad, but clearly they're not prepared for the perils of delivery through Grubhub. So
That's too modern.
it
too
is
futuristic,
modern.
yeah.
It's modern. Yeah. I mean, what do you expect? Jerusalem is what, like 30,000 years old. I mean, it's
Yeah.
What do they know about fucking technology shit?
How's that for a restaurant name? Get your shit together. Bar and Grill.
I want to say there was something. There was a restaurant I remember seeing. I think it was in Tampa that had a weird name similar like that. But I think it's different. I think it's what is it called? It's
It's a
I
pizzeria
don't
and it's
know,
called
or
the
something like
Piss.
it's called I don't know, or whatever
I
you
don't know.
want, or something like that. Because it goes whenever you ask your wife what you want to eat, and she says I don't know. Well, there you go.
Oh!
It was like it's something
Nice.
along those lines, and I'm just like, that is
Nice.
fucking legendary.
I don't know. What do you want? That should be the name.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Let me see. I'm gonna look that shit up right now. I don't know. What do you want?
And that's what they're having.
Restaurant.
That's clever. That's clever.
Oh no, it's okay. No, it's something.
If it's
like
not,
that.
then open it. Let's.
Oh, I don't care. I think that's what it is. I don't care.
Oh, I
Something
don't
like that. Yeah, I don't care. Bar and Grills right here. I don't know Bar and Grills right here. So obviously,
go.
people are fucking. At this point, people are just biting it. But I remember the first time I heard that, I was just like, wow, that's fucking legendary right there.
Yes,
That is
Yes, it
genius.
is.
Absolutely genius. And with that, welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and that, of course, is David, aka Dream Twister. And this is the real episode 287 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
GG! Brought to you by Get Your Shit Together Bar and Grill.
Yes, our new establishment that we are working on, opening soon, 2023.
Exactly. You get your poppers and your shit together, and just jalapeno poppers. I meant not medication. Although you don't know, we might have that too. I mean, you don't know what the shit is.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. You never know what it, you never know what it is. That's legendary, sir.
It's a surprise.
I gotta say, there is this place that I want to go to, but I feel like I need to be prepared for it. It's a place in Las Vegas, and maybe you've heard
Oh.
of it. It is called the Heart Attack Grill. Have you heard of
Heart
it?
Attack Grill. I think I have. Yes, where they serve you this monstrosity of burgers.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It is
You
in
have to sign a
Vegas.
waiver or some shit like that.
You have to wear a gown. I don't think you have to
wear a
take
gown.
clothes off, but you have to wear a gown like you would at a
A hospital. Yes.
All the waitresses are dressed as nurses, and not pointing out, but they're very scandalously dressed nurses. You know what I mean? Not
Very
exactly.
pointing out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nailed it, bro. Nailed it. Nice. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's a place, and not because of that. For the record, I want to go there for fucking burgers. Okay, But yes, they
I'll
have
be
the,
because of that, because I'm in Vegas. You guys don't have to care about that because it stays in Vegas. Get your shit together.
get your shit together.
Yes.
Yeah. Over 300. So there's like levels of burgers, which are ridiculous for the record. I think one is called
Wow.
the octuple bypass. Well, so you have the double bypass, the triple bypass, but you have something called the octuple. Octuple.
Oh,
Think about that for a second. Octuple. That's eight. Eight
that sounds.
stacked up burgers on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that. First of all, there's no way I would order that. That's ridiculous. But
That is the euthanasia. just that is the you want to kill yourself burger.
oh, and they do have like emergency equipment. Like somebody feels they have like emergency equipment there, and they can fucking revive your ass. That's some crazy
Holy
shit. Bro.
That's
Just
some,
like
that's some crazy shit.
I don't know if I want this. The single bypass burger is $9.70, and you can add 5 slices of bacon for 92 cents. Damn, that's
not
pretty
bad.
good.
Yeah,
Not bad at all.
They
Double
probably
bypass.
have. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say they probably have like because they probably have casinos in casino games in there also.
Probably.
So you
Who knows?
play and if you're gonna die, might as well have some fun while you're at it.
They have a half-pound coronary dog. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm hungry now.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to. You can put chili on these. Anyway, so my point is to say that, yeah, I want to try that out one day. I probably won't go past the triple. I'm just saying. Not to mention the octuple's like $25, but I don't want to go.
You can do a triple at Wendy's. Come on, man. You can pack that fucking artery. Come on.
Sir, I have a life. I'm trying to live. I'm trying to go places.
All right, at the very end. At the very end.
Anyway.
Oh, you're having a cocktail. I'm gonna have to prepare something here. Wife,
Oh, wow.
bartender,
Garçon.
garçon. Oh.
Well, anyway, guys, while he's getting his drink prepared by the lovely
Drink
Mrs.
on.
Santos, we, of course, will move on. If this is your first time listening, first off, go to goodgame.rocks, join the conversation there, takes you right to our Facebook group. And, of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do is first we go into what we have been up to, move on into various news items, and then, of course, we finish with our hot topic of the week. And this week's hot topic,
It's all about
Elden
Elden
Ring gameplay reveal. I'm sorry, because of the I just threw myself off because of the thing. I started reading hot topic of the week. Oh wait, that's at the bottom. The top says the actual title. sorry. Elden Ring gameplay reveal has been revealed by Bandai Namco this week, and we
Yes.
will be going into all the details of what we saw and what we're excited about and what we're concerned about, and if we actually pre-ordered this already. Spoilers.
We already have.
We already have, yeah. But anyway, in the meantime, let's go ahead and start with what we have been up to. Mr. David Santos.
Yes, sir.
What have you been doing, sir?
What have I been doing? I'll tell you what I've been doing. I've been saving the galaxy. I've been guarding the galaxy. That's right. I've been a guardian of the galaxy. I'm playing Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, if that wasn't clear enough.
Nailed it.
Yes, thank you. I actually finished it last night.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right, really
and-
important question.
Yes, sir.
How much time, roughly?
All right. So legit, this game probably took me, remember, it's me.
I know.
Let's say 23 hours.
Okay. I got
Let's say 23
23
hours.
hours David Santos time, so somewhere about 15 to 17 my time.
Yeah, in real, exactly. Don't fuck around just moving to every part of the map. Dilly-dallying, not doing anything.
Checking every wall to see if there's an invisible wall.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. It's difficult, man. It's difficult to do because that game looks freaking gorgeous. If I'm gonna give you credit, I'm gonna talk. This is the moment to talk about the good and the bad. Even though I mentioned the good and bad last time, but having got the entire experience now, I feel like I'm ready to actually give it its proper score. That game looks gorgeous, and it actually does something that I really appreciated. With you know how you feel compelled to collect the thing, get the power ups that you need that might be scattered, like hidden in some areas of the map, and you want to try to get them, get as much of them as possible, so you can unlock all your powers and your companion powers and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is a particular power up that you can unlock that allows it to show to for you to be alerted basically when you're nearby a hidden object, and what you need to do at that point is just put on your visor and just kind of like scan the area real quick, and then you will almost immediately find where it is,
Where it is, okay.
and that will tell you like, okay, so I don't have to start looking at the geometry of the area to see like, how did the developers put together this stage, and what looks like it could be a fake wall or a section that I have to climb or some shit like that, um or can I jump off from here? Like, you don't have to worry about that. It takes that guessing part out. It shows you, okay, this is there. This is there are items there for you to collect. Chances are there is going to be a way or a couple ways to get to it. It's usually just a single way. It's never that complicated. It's not that type of game.
Mm.
So, and I actually grabbed that by accident because I didn't think it was gonna be necessary, because like, I can just explore. But it ended up being super super useful. One of the first things, and I will recommend, if you ever played this game, to get it at the very as soon as possible, because it helps a lot. Because obviously you will find, you will spend materials to get that power up, but the amount of materials that you get now, because you know where they are, and not to mention the time that you're gonna save, because you don't have to go exploring like crazy. You're just walking down the path, and whenever it beeps, okay, it's time to check around. It'll save you time, and you'll find a lot more materials that you will need. Like I didn't. By the end of the game, I was fully maxed out on, I think, pretty much everything. Like all my companions have all their full regiment of powers, and I had all 15 special you know uh bonus things that you could do, which it could be something as simple as, well, now your shields recharge twice as fast, to something more elaborate, like I said, like the being able to locate, extract materials faster, or your life. Obviously you always get a boost on HP, um or being able to fire your guns twice as fast if you are less than 40% on HP, or 30%, something like that. If you're low on HP, you will fire twice as fast, and it moves really fast. Or you could also do the Gears of War thing, where, as your weapons, as you fire them up, they heat up, and then they have to kind of cool down. So he does the Gears of War thing, where if you quote unquote reload them at the right time, then you don't have to wait for the rest of the of the guns cooling down, because they will immediately, not only will they immediately be ready to fire, but the immediate shot that goes after you reload them, after you quick reload them like that, is like twice as powerful. It's a very strong punch.
Gotcha.
It gives a
So
really
extra
good kick.
damage.
Yeah. So that's neat. But if you fuck up now, you have to kind of wait double the time, because it needs to have its penalty, which is fine. I mean, it happens on that. It happens on game. It's not terrible. I'm happy to say that your companions are effective for the most part. They are quite effective as dealing with their own, with whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
It's almost a shame that there's not a level of freedom, a little bit of a freedom where they can do their special attacks whenever they need to, but at the same time, like, I don't think that will be a good idea because then all you're left doing is just shooting. And let's be honest, the shooting there has a purpose, but it's not like the ultra cool shooting of, you're destroying the enemies basically.
So it's not. Oh,
uh no,
so I
go
was gonna
ahead.
say it was not like Outer Worlds, where Outer Worlds, I
uh
got my people so powered up that we begin a battle and I take one shot and everybody's dead by the time but you know what I mean? They
Yes.
were that overpowered.
No,
Like, well, this
exactly.
is
No,
not
no.
really
It
fun.
doesn't. Yeah, that takes away the fun. No, true. No, it doesn't get like that. Your guns, they're obviously causing damage, but it's never so much that you can just like one shot anybody. They're mostly for either stunning the person, the enemy, so you can attack them with another attack, or slowly chipping away at their HP bar, which is why a lot of videos at the beginning we were concerned about. Ooh, I don't know, these enemies feel a little sponge like spongy, like
Yeah.
bullet sponges. And but when you realize that it's not trying to be that type of game, then that bullet sponginess, it doesn't really affect you. Like it still feels like the combat is really decent. It's really good.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because it's not just your attacks that are causing damage, it's also making sure that you manage your teammates. If you need Rocket to go all out with like a mega cannon that he has, or throws a bomb or whatever, you let them know. You have when you press the button to command others, like, it doesn't stop the action. It kind of moves it a little bit slow motion. Last week I said, "Oh, you barely have time to do that." I probably was not noticing, or misremembered. Um, you actually do get time to make the decision. It's just you don't have the entire time. It's you can't just sit down over there and Mass Effect your way through it, like thinking like, oh, okay, I'm this person should do this and this person should do that. No, because things are still moving. You're still getting attacked, or
It's
you're
real time. Yeah.
yeah. It's just slowing down a little bit. So you still need to make your choices relatively fast. So having finished the game, I could tell you that I really like the story. I think honestly, I think it's a story
I
that
think I do.
rivals.
Oh, sorry.
No. I think it's a story that rivals the movies. It's just that the movies, they're not. They don't particularly have a super high bar, but
And they're only 2 hours. So.
and they're only 2 hours. But it's still an enjoyable piece.
Mhm.
And this one, this game, I feel like the story was also a very enjoyable piece. Very, it was well written. This is when they say, "Oh, it's a very touching story." Like, I don't mean like this. This ain't no like last Last of Us or two. I never played two, but I've heard things. I don't mean to that level. I mean to like for the type of game, and also for the type of characters, like you wouldn't really expect it to get like that. But for the type of game that it is, it's like it's very appropriate. Like
Okay.
there was some thought put on it, and you definitely wanted to continue seeing it through. So I enjoy that. I will say I already spoke about how I felt about the characters. Like, I love almost all of them, with the exception of Rocket. I found him to be a little annoying. Whether he should be the hilarious one, but who knows? That's just my opinion. Some people might actually love this version of it because how was it that I described it like a character from Cheers, like a grumpy character from Cheers?
Cliff.
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 Yes. It sounds, yeah, exactly. And the more I hear his voice, the more.
Norm.
Norm was great. Yeah, Norm was great. Yeah. But it definitely sounds like Cliff. It almost sounds like, man, that's what they were going for almost. But I have to say that Drax the Destroyer, might be a runner-up for me, right there with Colt from Deadloop for Character of the Year. And yes, I really enjoy his performance because it's not like he's delivering like hilarious one-liners or hilarious thing. Like it doesn't go overboard. It's just, I don't know. There's something about his character, the way the way they design him and the way that he delivers his lines, that it's like they nailed it. It is really cool.
Nice.
I can say the same thing about Gamora. I really enjoyed this version of Gamora, but Drax was awesome. Another thing I was kind of surprised actually to find out is that that on during the game you're making a lot of you're picking up a lot of things that you say. Sometimes the game will do the thing of Rocket will remember this or something like that, like it does that. And it turns out that your choices, they kind of have, they don't have, it's not meant to try to be what Mass Effect was trying to be, because I don't think that Mass Effect even nailed it in itself. But it's not that it has like multiple endings. Like, I don't see it being that way. I can see modifications on the same ending, absolutely. But it's not trying to be like the good ending, the bad ending, or make these choices. I will tell you that depending on your choices, you could actually get yourself in making some sections a little bit easier or a little bit more harder, a little bit more monotone or a little bit more fun. So particularly one I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just going to say very in general without specifying what it is. But a decision that I made at the beginning, and I realized what it actually allowed later on, or didn't allow. It actually had me thankful that I selected my choice, even if the choice that I made was might not been the one considered. I don't know. I wouldn't say morally right, because it's not like it was it's not like a morality system per se. It was like either way you go, you're still fine. But it's cool that he has that, because then it makes you talk about, hey, what you did, what you answer, or what did you do in this section, or did you get to see this part, or it'll have those particular experiences which merit a replay. And I can definitely see myself going through a replay of this again, just like I did with Marvel Spider-Man, because at the end of the day, it was a really fun game. The stages were, I would consider them to be, fairly long stages and fulfilling. Like, there was nothing felt like it was just padding, even though, yes, some stages will extend, it'll always, what do you do in most games? Like, if you're gonna complain about, well, all you're doing is running and fighting, then yeah, that's kind of like the game you're playing. Now the difference is the fighting fun. If you find the fighting fun, then you won't have a problem with that, because the game will throw at you on the level design will throw some small curveballs. Yeah, nothing too drastic. It's just like it might have a platforming section with a gust of air that will be, but it's not like as difficult as it sounds. It's actually not difficult at all. I fucked up at one point and managed to save myself still. So it does its thing. It's not, some of them have like decent verticality. Like it's not just running on a plane, just like a brawler. So and like I mentioned, the combat feels pretty good. When you pull some special moves, especially when you're dynamically put them together with the well, you don't put them together. I guess the game decides to. Like at some point, the enemies are kind of like beat up enough to where you can just press Y and B. I switched to the Xbox controller, by the way. I'll tell you why later on. But I press Y and B, and suddenly, when it prompts you, and suddenly all the guardians are attacking, and they do it in a kind of like stylized way that it looks cool. It's not. I don't think it's gonna blow your mind when you see it. It looks cool. The game definitely does a great job of putting a smile on your face, a lot. Which, hey, at the very least, that is a symbol that at least you're having fun with it, unless you hate the characters, But I was playing this game with a smile on my face.
Nice.
That almost the whole time, because let me tell you, the game itself, it doesn't have any game breaking bugs, but it has the most incredibly annoying, stupid fucking bug that pretty much ruined what otherwise would have been.
Is this the camera again?
Clear a game of the year. No.
Oh.
The camera? What was
Isn't this the one where you hit the photo mode by accident?
Oh, yeah, no, I talked about that. Hence the reason I actually switched to the Xbox controller is because I found myself pressing them a lot less. Like it still happened, but it wased like it was considerably
Your hands
less.
Are too brute for the.
I need a controller that will hold my freaking Titan hands.
I need a successor to the Duke. Is what I need in order for this to work.
I need the Duke. I need the motherfucking Duke to be able to play this. This game proper. Because you're right. I guess. And I just realized complete side note here, because I like to extend my part. I realized why I like the PlayStation, the DualSense controller, obviously, when it's doing its thing, when it's giving me the rumble, the special, the DualSense feel and stuff like that. When you take that away, it doesn't feel any special. and that's I tried playing this game on PC with the DualSense controller. I thought it was neat to see the sacred symbols, the PlayStation button prompts on the PC being recognized, and to be fair, it played, it played really well. Like I didn't notice any lag or anything like that. Of course, it's not the type of game that is meant to be like super precise or whatever, but I found that I was having that problem with the button constantly, like pressing both thumbsticks whenever I was in the midst of the fight, and it'll ruin me because it'll take me completely away from the experience. Suddenly the game is paused without sound or anything, and it wants me to take a pretty picture. Like, fuck that noise. And I still blame the developers for not giving you the option to turn that shit off, because now you could be playing on PlayStation 5 and realize that you have man hands like me, and suddenly like
whatever. Gorilla Grodd.
Gorilla Grodd hands. Yep, I'll own it. Yep, I'll own to that. I caught myself to where like
I'm just kidding, bro.
I know I'm freaking out too much on this. On this, I'm just pressing too hard. I don't know what it is. The thing is, it didn't happen as much with the Xbox controller, and I just kept and
That's good.
finished
Hey,
it through it
whatever
with it.
comfort works.
And it ended up working. So anyway,
Plus, Square Enix, come on, figure out where else to put that fucking
fix
button.
that shit. That should be patched to where if you want a photo mode, just make it a.
You said you've looked up forums, right? You
Oh yes, I have posted 2 forums. I posted the Steam one and the Square Enix one. I have searched far and wide for the internet. Like, give me I will fucking crack this game if I can if somebody gave me the option. Like, I don't care. I was desperate because he was ruining. But no, just when I fixed that problem, the game found a way to actually piss me off even more, which is the little bugs in this game. And I'll explain. This one in particular was the absolute worst. You know what it does? What it does?
What's that?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what it does. So it basically turned my Groot. You know Groot, right?
I do know Groot.
I am Groot. It basically turns into. You heard me?
Yes, it turns into.
It turns into. Oh, you didn't hear me. It's because I was trying to do what the game does, which is turn him into I am mute. It literally mutes Groot to where you no longer see him acting, or it'll be other characters. But for the most part, it did it with me. It did it with Groot, where sometimes whole cutscenes will be ruined because I will hear Rocket trying to explain something that I guess Groot said off screen, but he didn't say anything because his track didn't play, or well, for the most part, it was him. On some other times, it'll be other. Like I'll be playing, and I told you this game, the characters are constantly having chatter, constantly. But at one point, I was playing, and I noticed that everybody was eerily quiet. And I already know, I'm like, motherfucker, don't tell me that the sound crapped out again. The voices, the dialogue just crapped out again. Because the dialogue could be giving you important things. Instructions, or it could be giving you lore, or you don't know. So if you don't know, because also I have the subtitles on, but if the tracks don't play, then the subtitles don't play either. They go on strike also. So suddenly you have a game where it's a silent movie. It's a silent game. Wow. You hear the attacks and the special effects and all that kind of stuff, but you don't hear the characters, and you're never sure. Sometimes you'll be playing and there'll be like a little bit of time where you haven't heard Groot say nothing, and you're like, is he bugging out, or is it me, or am I not paying attention? Did Groot bug out again? God damn it. And I had to turn the game off and shut it and reboot it again. And then I noticed that, oh yeah, they were talking this whole time. It's just I didn't get any of it because of the fucking audio bug issue.
Wow.
And
is this common across PC and consoles?
I want to say, well, I've been playing on PC and I haven't heard of anybody else experiencing it. But then again, I didn't really look too much into this one because I figured, man, if I didn't find anything about, if nobody's cooperating about the photo mode, then they're probably not cooperating about bugs and stuff. This game's kind of new, so it's probably, or maybe it's just a PC issue only, because this game does have a PC only issue. I will tell you about that also.
I'm looking at Steam communities. It has audio issues here. I'm looking to see if it has anything for any of the other ones though.
So it did in a couple of cutscenes, which is the good thing is that if you stop it and you get out of it and you reload it, it will reload at the beginning of the cutscene. So at least you're not wasting time. But if it happened during gameplay and then it's saved later on and you didn't notice, then you miss whatever happened, whatever was said, if anything. Like, you don't know, because the characters are so chatty, if you don't hear them talk, you know you got hit with the mute bug.
Wow.
And there's not the only way I was able to get it to work was by reloading, or actually quitting out of the game and bringing the game back. So I had to do that so many times that it was at that point I was already annoyed with it. At that point, it's like, okay, everything else, you guys had it. You guys had it on everything else, and you're fucking it up so badly on this part that it's like, why? What are you doing?
Just one of those
Another.
things. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I mean, it still counts against them no matter what. But
It has to. I have to count it because that is the state of the game as it is right now. And I mean, I hope that is. I hope this is a PC only thing. Maybe configuration
on PC. I don't know anything for consoles. Nothing coming up anyway. But.
Yeah. The other thing that had me also on fucking edge is the fact that the game, whenever you will start it again, you pull out the settings. One of the settings that it has is DLSS, which it basically allows you to run that at the maximum settings, but also not sacrificing that much the frame rate. So the frame rate was kept always around 80, and I'm telling you, with everything max, including freaking RTX and all that jazz, like it was like that was amazing. The game, the fact that the game was able to perform so well and look so incredible, like so colorful and everything. It's like, yes, this part was well done. You fucked up on the audio. And you're now fucking up with turning off my DLSS for no reason whatsoever, and my RTX, you would turn it off for no reason whatsoever. You just decide that for funsies, you're gonna start the game with it off, to the point that every time I start the game, I have to go to the settings and make sure it's on. So that was kind of annoying, also, and it's not like, honestly, it's not that it's nothing game breaking. Yes, without DLSS, you'll probably notice that your frame rates are taking a little bit more of a hit, but that could affect other people. I can see how that could affect other people more or less, depending on their hardware, because if it drops from 100 to 80, you're not gonna notice shit, but if it drops from 60 to 40, then you're definitely going to notice that. So that's why I found the fact that it kept taking away those features for no reason, like, very annoying. The game also doesn't do like a really great job in prepping you for quick time events. Unfortunately, it's not excessive, but it does have them, and it presents them in the worst way, to where sometimes something will happen and you don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do, and because the game's not showing you any prompts. It's just basically, hey, here's the ship, fly it, but you don't know how. It didn't tell you how. It didn't tell you anything. It's just move the controller, and it's not like it responds immediately to where you realize, like, oh, okay, I'm in control. No, it's almost like you're left wondering, like, what am I supposed to do? Why am I dying here? Like, it had a couple moments like that were kind of annoying. The game does have some flight missions in the Milano, but not that many. But they're kind of Star Foxy in a way, kind of like when you're in space, Yeah. But honestly, they don't feel great. They're serviceable for what they're trying to do, but they're not major parts of the game or anything like that. It feels more like an on rails, but you're off the rails. But you still don't have control to say, oh, look at me, I'm dogfighting or anything like that, that might be a plus to you because you don't like dogfighting. So that's okay. That's okay. I wasn't expecting it to be dogfight. I'm just saying, like, if it feels a little stiff, and sometimes again, you don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do until you die a couple of times, and then you realize, oh, I guess the game wanted me to do this, and I'm not doing it because he didn't tell me anywhere, and it's not being obvious of what he wants me to do. So yeah, it's things like that I kind of have to ding the game a little bit. So final score, and remember, our 5.0 is not saying that it's a perfect game. All right. Our 5.0, it just says, hey, this is an outstanding game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't call this outstanding because it's not. It's not. It had the heart in it. It had all the potential. I will say if it would have developed flawlessly without bugs, it could have and some things, and fix some other things that were not like spectacular. Its heart was in it. Like it was a strong contender. I would say it would have deserved a spot on a 4.5, but I'm sorry, it's not a 4.5 either. I was deliberating because of the bugs that this game might get 3.5. And I'm going to be fair and honest. In spite of all those issues, I still had a hell of a good time with the game. I can see a patched up version of this game being very, very fun. I like this, just like with Spider-Man, where it was, it gives me, like, I never knew that I was into like superhero, games as much, and that game makes you feel like a total superhero badass. I feel like this one delivers it also, especially if the superhero that you're meant to play here is kind of like quirky and stupid and not perfect in any way, as a person, making dumb choices and
they're assholes. That was the selling point when the movies came out. Is that they are assholes, and they all are, and they know it, and they don't care.
They don't care.
So, yeah. So as long as you accept that, yeah, I always kind of dug them as characters. So
yeah. I will still recommend you picking it. You're right. Maybe you don't have to like run and get it right now. Maybe wait until you hear of a couple patches and see what it fixes, and then, but definitely jump on it at some point because it is a cool experience. I'm gonna give it a 4.0 with all the things. Very heavily leaning on the 3.5, like very heavily. Like this is the reviewer tilt. If there has ever been a reviewer's tilt in full force, the full power of this reviewer's tilt is being in display here, because I want to 3.5 this shit so bad, and 3.5 is still great. It's what is it? It's literally in our score. Isn't it like really great?
Really great,
or something like that? Yeah.
No. It is. Hold on. We have 2.5 is mediocre, 3 is good, 3.5 is really good.
Really good.
Yeah, and then 4 is great.
Yes. So yeah, this is I'll feel comfortable giving it a 4.0.
Okay. Fair enough.
I
can wait, is what you're saying. I'll wait.
You can wait. You can wait. Yeah. Does it. I feel like that was a question in the beginning. A lot of people were wondering. It's like, does it deserve full price? Absolutely.
It sounds like it does. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
It sounds like it's worth the full price.
Because if you don't, if you guys don't support this, then what you're gonna be getting is more Avengers game, and you don't want gas shit. You don't want games as service, because that's basically what ruined that game. When I was watching a video from Scale Up, and he was describing, like, yes, you could tell that it was almost a single player game that got gutted, and then it got filled with the games as service shit put on it. And then kind of like sewn together, because the single player aspect and story beats and all like that, they feel wonderful. or didn't he say wonderful? He said it was enjoyable, which I believe him. I mean, the game itself looks. If it would have been a single player, it could have been something else. But that's what the Avengers. That's what Guardians of the Galaxy is. Guardians of the Galaxy is the apology for the Avengers game, and if you don't support it, whatever. I'm not saying jump on it at you have to buy it now or anything like that. I'm just saying at some point you guys should consider it if you like superhero games, because this one's a really good one of those.
Nice.
Really good one of those.
I think I will, sir. I think I will definitely. I mean, I know I will. I should say, I know I will.
Yeah.
I just don't know when, and I might.
Yeah. Do it
am I
prior
clear to go
January,
right now?
please. Because I'm a little concerned that we might lose ourselves in February. So,
we are definitely losing ourselves in February.
We should
I hear
consider
you.
moving St. Valentine to January and get our respective wives.
Get them shits out the way. Yeah, we gotta
Yes,
get that out of the way.
yes, yes.
That's interesting
Conversation.
insight, sir.
Yeah,
Interesting insight. I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. It doesn't get 5.0. You know what gets 5 though, and it's only because it's on the fucking title. Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, of course.
Oh yes, of course. I have been playing Forza Horizon 5. You might be wondering, like, how come that game doesn't come out until Tuesday, right? And I would say, allegedly, that game comes on Tuesday and it's available to play for free for Game Pass owners, for Game Pass subscribers. You can get that game for free. I paid $100 to get the game and its expansions because I got the fucking Premier Edition.
Oh my goodness!
And to get access this weekend because it's gonna be this weekend because that's how much I love Forza Horizon. And let's face it, I knew I was gonna own that game. Always remember, like, why would I make such a stupid move? I could be playing that game for free, obviously, right? Because I have Game Pass, but always think back to the Spotify air. I know
Spotify, exactly why. Yeah, I know why you're doing it. Yeah, if I ever decide not to have Game Pass, for whatever reason, if life throws its difficult moments at me, and suddenly I have no choice but let go of several services. With said service would go this game.
Yeah.
So I get you.
Yeah. I need to own it. Because I put a ton of hours on all the Forza games ever since Forza Horizon games. Let me specify. On all the Forza Horizon games, I put many hours on it, many hours of enjoyment because I love that series. And oh my God, let me tell you about Forza Horizon 5, bro. It's a cuddle pain on Forza Horizon 4.
Quelle surprise.
It takes place in Mexico. And
wait, this is real Mexico? Or like fake world Mexico?
No. It's not.
It's not like Far Cry this shit.
It's
right?
not like Far Cry with Yara. No. This one is Mexico as Mexico. Okay. One of the cities that you visit is Guanajuato.
Oh yeah,
and
I remember.
And he has
there.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you could, if you get Game Pass and then you could get this game for free. Anyway, no. I have joking. Yes, the game is it's not a super hard departure of what Forza Horizon 4 was, and Forza Horizon game was phenomenal. So I wasn't expecting it to like blow the door stuff, and also let's be fair, I have only put maybe 5 hours tops on it, so I'm not saying I'm not disappointed. Like I haven't had enough time to be either wild or disappointed yet. You know, the presentation. I'm saying the presentation is very similar because all the Forza Horizon games. I have to make the distinction. The Forza Horizon games have a very similar presentation. It's always about the festival. The well minus except for the first Horizon, Forza Horizon was a little bit more Need for Speed Need for Speedy, in the sense that it was more about your character and your character growing in the ranks of the streets, the racing scene and da da da. And no, it was less about the festival. Forza Horizon 2 was the one that opened up. Like it doesn't matter who you are. It's just about the celebration of car enthusiasts going on a crazy Woodstock adventure craziness, Coachella craziness with cars. Yeah, go at it, go nuts. And they still capture that. Mexico, the maps, the areas. I'm going to be speaking mostly of the previews that I've seen because I obviously haven't played enough to get to those areas myself. But the previews that I've seen of the locations where you got the volcanic areas, you got mountainous areas where there's snow. They definitely picked this biome, so to speak, or this city because of its different biomes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they definitely did that. The thing with Horizon 4 was that the seasons could change, but guess what? The season will change every week. Will be a different season, and if you didn't like playing in the snow, then tough nookie.
You'd have to wait till the following week, right?
Deal with it. I think they patched it. I think they patched it later on. But the thing is, it was that. It was either all snow or all fall or all summer. The different things. On this one, you don't. Although I am to understand that it does have seasons, but it doesn't affect all the areas at the same time. Like you won't see fucking snow falling on a volcano, on ash and area. Although it's not to say that doesn't happen. I'm just saying, like in this game, you won't see that. So as you're racing and as you're exploring the map, which it's like gigantor, you are you're experiencing different biomes. Like it could be very jungly and it looks gorgeous. The jungle looks amazing because the game does the thing that it does at the very beginning where it opens up and it always needs to be bombastic, kind of like just to give you a preview of what to expect in the game. So every first race that once it gives you the Xbox Studios game that and it just shows you and you're in a fucking plane for some reason. I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm on a plane. All right, a car game with planes, maybe. Yeah, Forza Horizon has done that because at one point it had me racing against an F-15, literally, but not in real life. But you know what I mean? It's on the game, it does that. So, sure, let me be on this plane for some reason. Oh no, wait, they're actually me parachuting my car, the kind of like opening the cargo bay and throwing my car off the cargo bay and parachuting my car out of the plane and into the very Fast and the Furious, whatever, one of those, pick a number, and I will hit the ground immediately, running at top speed, and it does his show and his thing, and then he stops, and then it takes you. Now you're on the plane, and now you're dropped into the jungle area, and it is a 4-wheeler that you're driving now, or a Jeep type vehicle, SUV, I believe, is their designation. Anyway, the because Jeep is the brand. Although I believe this one might have been a Jeep. Anyway,
It's both, but go ahead.
yeah, I think it might be.
Both a brand and a type.
And yeah, it's just it throws you there, and it shows you that section, and then the next section it throws you might be on the volcanic area, and then at the end is the one where you're using like where you're running like this crazy. I want to say it's a Mercedes, but it's like a concept car. I don't know that the actual model itself to say it here, but it's like a crazy concept car, and now you're driving, against a bunch of people to get to the line, and Prola, Forza Horizon title, and now the game somehow already knew my name, somehow already, like literally, like, hey David, like like he immediately knew my name, like he knows my the games obviously the previous games. Like I knew that I played Forza Horizon 4 because
your prior stuff. That makes
my decisions, the decisions that I made on Forza Horizon carried over.
Wow.
Although I thought it was pretty neat that it gave me like, here's some loyalty cards for playing our previous Forza games, and it showed me all the games, Forza, from the original Forza to Forza 2 to Forza 3, Forza 4. It's like, it's just so nice to be appreciated. So real quick, the game looks phenomenal and it runs phenomenal, but you guys can see that on YouTube. The gameplay on the most of the reviews on that you see on YouTube, they're actually basing it on the Xbox version of it, obviously, rather than showcasing the PC version. Without any surprise or any expectation, IGN gave it a 10 because they just give those away now. They just give those away now like nothing. It's like,
it's like, hey, this is an expected 9.5. We're gonna give it a 10. We're gonna get that hype going. We're gonna get that.
Let's just get people to read the reasons why. Yeah, that's how you drive clicks. No, but the game is doing pretty well. And it's no surprise. It is, if you like the Forza Horizon games, you're gonna love this one because it's more and it's better and nicer. But the thing is that it also, to me, it brought in the problems that I have with the Forza Horizon games lately, and that is that you are constantly being showered with cars in this game. Like constantly, like you win a race, you spin the wheel, next thing you have a fucking crazy rare car, whatever it is. It's like, okay, here you go. Like I think I have more than 10 cars already, and I've only been playing for less than 5 hours. And so it's constantly throwing you, and you will think like, what's wrong with that? And it's just, I feel like it kind of devalues the purpose of collecting these cars like you would in a Gran Turismo game. In a Gran Turismo game, you have to earn them, motherfucker, or you buy them and stuff like that, right? They're not just like willy-nilly giving them to you like nothing. This game just, it's constantly throwing you, and it's not like it's giving you crap, which makes me feel for the crap vehicles because, I might want to drive an old, Mitsubishi Lancer. Not to say that Mitsubishi Lancer is a crap vehicle in any way whatsoever. But, it's not like a concept car and, oh, no, never mind. The game gave me a fucking Mercedes concept car now. So long, any other type of car that I could be using.
That'll probably be your number one pick at that point.
Yeah, at that point. And you don't want it to be, because then that's how you get, you could get bored. And also, it's not going to be appropriate for all the terrain, the different type of races that you're gonna receive. That so the game has this showcase races, which is you against something crazy. I was about to go into the second one, but we were about to start recording, and I wish it wouldn't have taken. It probably would have taken me like 5 minutes or so, depending on difficulty, because I wanted to see what was the next crazy thing. Like on Forza Horizon 4, I told you one of them was like, oh, now you're running against this hovercraft, this gigantic hovercraft. Oh, this race is gonna be against a train. Oh, this race is gonna be against an F-15 because why the fuck not? Let's go cuckoo. Oh, and then in this game you are tripping hard because you consumed a lot of mushrooms or some shit, but now you're on a warhog and you're the Master Chief.
Oh my
and
God.
this whole thing is a mission from Halo, except that you're racing the warhog. But hey, you need to get to the thing before the ring explodes, and the skybox turns into the skybox from like one of the Halo rings. So you see the Earth going up, as a ring.
Yeah.
And so he does crazy shit like that, and I'm very curious to know what this game does, because those ones are always like very, very fun to do in between the normal races, and I feel like that's the way you progress into the game, and you get into basically what the end game will be. I have started watching YouTube videos a lot to learn how to tune my cars, because the game has a lot of tuning mechanics and things. It's not meant to be a simulation. You will get the regular Forza Motorsport game for that.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe a Gran Turismo whenever the fuck it decides to show up.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
2023.
I can't wait. But no, it has enough to learn at least what a differential does and what your gears should be set as and your tire pressure and all that kind of like car nut porn that they will enjoy, that granted, you don't need to learn that. You could very well, the game allows you to, and it has the option to, let me do it for you, and and I'll tune it up for you. But then you don't know if it's not properly tuned because you didn't tune it to yourself. You are using someone else's tuning, and it might not be ideal. You never know. So I kind of want to learn how to do that to get a little bit more enjoyment out of what I got from that. I found like Forza Horizon 4 was like the streets and areas were a little plain, and this one I'm finding that it has more altitude, and because it has like mountainous areas and stuff like that, and I'm really digging that. I'm not liking the destructibility of everything. That shit still annoys me, and I get it. I get why they're doing it. You're playing a game where you're going really, really fast. The last thing you want to do is be stopped on a dime because you hit a palm tree or something. Even though you should, because that will be the realistic way of handling this. Actually, the realistic way of handling it will be a lot more painful. But
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
say,
just saying, I shouldn't be able to just destroy almost everything. Not everything. Obviously, there's gonna be some stuff that you're not gonna be able to move and will stop you on a dime. But there's sector, like I shouldn't be going on my low level car, or not low level. What I'm trying to say, when it's like ground level, when I put it low, very low. What is that called? Low riding. Yeah, with my low rider car, I should not be allowed or able to just go off roading. Like that shit makes no sense.
No.
Also, lakes are lakes. Lakes are not always just fucking puddles of water. Like, I hate that.
That's kind of old school right there. I'm not gonna lie.
It's you are ruining the realisticness of every.
That's Mario Kart. Like
that is very Mario
You know
Kart.
what I mean? You always get out to water and you think it's water, and no, it slows you down, but it's a puddle.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get me amazing the way that the water splashes off your windshield and everything like that. Like, you got that shit packed down, man. You got it, man. I haven't played a racing game that looks as beautiful as this one yet so far. But you're screwing it up and letting me pretty much mow around every cactus or every small palm tree that gets in my way. I just like go through it like if it was nothing. Like they don't even make a sound when I like they make it like a small splat. It's like that shit should have destroyed my fender. It should have completely obliterated it and got to be a passenger of mine, But no, it doesn't do anything like that.
Wow.
All right. I spoken enough already. I'm not gonna give you a score because
Well, no, this is an early preview. Yeah.
it's an early preview, right? So far, I'm enjoying it. Hey, it came at a great cost, but for Forza Horizon, I will happily play it. I couldn't have done it with a more smile on my face. I was like last night. I finished Guardians of the Galaxy, but honestly, and I finished it at 12 o'clock. Actually, I believe I sent you that picture at 12 o'clock. And I was going to the credits, and you know how it has an option to forward the credits a little bit. And I try not to use it or whatever. No,
I never use it.
You're gonna have to fucking use it because the credits are extraordinarily long.
Sir, and 30-minute credits from freaking God of War, isn't that?
Yes,
it's like,
yes,
and I let it
yes.
just play. I'm like, nope, that shit's just gonna play.
Yeah.
Here and listen to music for 30 minutes.
That's cool because you're gonna like the music is playing. But I'm just saying, it's like, fuck, I want to play Forza already because it's already midnight.
All right, so you had ulterior motives, sir.
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Yes, I
it has
fucking
nothing
did.
to do with the game. If you had
No.
nothing lined up, you'd have just been nice and comfortable sitting there watching your credits go by.
No.
For 30
I'll probably
minutes.
still be watching right now. I would have called it to work. It's like, Guardians of the Galaxy credits are still
It's
going.
still going. I don't know if this is seen, and I don't want to forward it. That reminds me of I think the first time I ever had a very long ending credits was Legend of the Seven Stars, Super Mario, Legend of the Seven
Oh
Stars.
my god, I don't even remember those, but
Yeah,
must
I
have been
remember it was, I finished it, it was late, and I was so excited, and I'm just sitting there trying to stay up, and I'm not hitting any button because I leave the controller off to the side. I want to skip nothing, you know what I mean? And God, it took forever, and it may not have been that long, but it was one of the longest at the time. Particularly, this is Super Nintendo. Particularly at a time where you really get that much fucking credits. You know, sometimes it'll be 2 screens and boom, you're back at the start. You know what I mean? And so it was one of the first ones that actually had that I remember had a long one. So it pales in comparison to today's, but yeah, you know.
No,
anyway.
today it's like everybody that has the janitor's family is gonna be on the credits.
All the
because-
Grubhub drivers that we hired
That
to
we
deliver
hired,
food,
yes,
and you have
yes.
their names on here because without them, we would
Hey.
have died without sustenance.
Listen, it started with production babies. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, I've seen plenty of those. Well, for me, sir, I am still playing Battle Chasers Night War, so I'm not really going to talk much more about it.
Holy crap, man! That game. How long is that game?
It's not long, sir. I'm just only playing it like maybe once a week. I'm only playing, period, once a week. I usually squeeze in more time.
God.
Yeah, I usually squeeze in
What kind
more
of
time.
life is
here.
that, man? Are you okay? You need help?
No, I'm just
Blink
I'm
if you're in
into-
distress.
No, this is all purposely done. I told you before. I feel like I'm in that lull where I really don't want to play anything at the moment. And when I do turn it on, it automatically, because I suspend the game, it automatically throws me on this. And okay, and I just kind of jump back into it. And I'm still enjoying it, for the record. I really enjoy it. I got to give credit to Chaos. Chaos broke this shit down. You know what I mean? There were systems upon systems that I was not understanding when it came to crafting. And he was like, no, let me show you. This is just whatever. And give, credit where credit's due. He probably plays every day. He does, he has his wife who's also a gamer, and mine's is not. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where, sometimes you fit in.
You don't have to remind ourselves.
I'm just saying, just throwing
His
it out
wife's
there,
a gamer. Our wives are not.
No, I'm just saying that there's more opportunity.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, in the end, it's a good thing. It's like, well, he was able to break down some of this stuff, and dude, I'm just loving these little systems upon systems that I'm not. I mentioned to you on a I was gonna say a tweet, on a fucking message I sent to you. It was, I'm not even progressing the story. I'm just grinding, and I normally don't grind. But I have new characters Here's one thing it does not do, and it doesn't do. I don't know what it's called. I know there's a specific phrase for it, but when your characters are not within your active party, but they
Uh,
have some leveling up that happens in the background, it doesn't
so
do
they
that.
are. Oh, it does not.
It does not do that. So if they're not in your
Oh, that's
party
annoying.
and you've played these guys because you have and to be fair, you may not even need them. You know, you can just stick to the people
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of designed that way because even he noticed that there's no specific role for each person. You
Mm,
have some people who can be a DPS dealer, but also
mm,
a healer. And you
yeah.
have your healers who are also tanks, and they're not. I like that, you know what I mean,
Uh,
because it means you have a much more diverse uh, sort of cast of characters, but it also, and I think that it's purposefully done that. Well, you don't need to play with all six characters. Now, if you just stick to, well, I'm saying all six. I only know of six. I don't know if there's more. Um, but if you stick to the same
surprise,
three,
bitch! They're 14.
yeah, imagine if you say stick to the same three that you're using, and they're leveling up, they're opening up, they're getting their perk points and all this stuff. You may just play the game through that. Now, the problem is if you ever decide to go back or use somebody else, and you're at level 20 and they're still fucking 11, you know what I mean? Because you haven't touched them in
I was gonna
God
say,
how long.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's literally my only complaint, but it's not a solid complaint because of I think they knew that it was a conscious decision,
right.
and each character can fill in multiple roles where you're like, okay, I may not need him for this particular thing. The problem is as I unlock new abilities, I kind of want to see the new abilities for the other guys. So I'm rotating in and out. Anyway, so that's again, that's
almost,
my
almost like the developers want you to play more time with their game, huh?
yeah, I mean it could be. And I mean I'm not above saying because I did look. I am one of those who look up to see how long to beat. Um
Oh,
and
okay.
the average time, well, completist means everything 100%.
Uh,
Completist is like 65 hours, so it's not really that
okay.
long even when you
Yeah.
factor, because I'm never a completist anyway.
Mm,
So you factor out all the just the main story plus some missions, you're looking anywhere between 30 to 40 hours, you know what I mean, is
mm,
what you're
mm.
looking at. I'm like, okay, well that's doable.
Yeah. Yeah,
um
yeah, yeah. I would say you pride yourself on being an incompletist, actually. Sometimes you don't complete games on purpose. So I hear you.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment, sir, and just
Oh, please
move on.
do.
Whatever you gotta tell yourself. Anyway, so that's what I've been playing. I haven't played anything else. Still, I haven't even listened to music or podcasts. I'm still listening to the Dune book, audio book for Dune,
The
and
Dune, yeah.
I got about maybe 4 hours left on the story, so I'm not far, pretty close to the end. I'm past where the story ends in the movie.
Yeah.
um, so I'm kind of filling in little gaps here as to what can possibly be in the second one. And first of all, I feel like where they ended the story is in the main story of things. You may not know that if you don't know the tale, but it
Uh,
is a perfect
it's
pause
appropriate.
point. Yeah, you know what I mean? For you to go,
Okay.
okay. Um, because
That's cool.
there's a little bit of there's a little bit, not a huge thing, but a little bit of a jump, and then from there you have your second part, even though the story itself doesn't do that. You don't even know it until
Mhm,
later on.
mhm.
But anyway, definitely enjoying that as well. And so I'm just kind of all into that. I'm looking up little stuff too. By the way, I don't know why. One of those random YouTube uh, freaking rabbit holes that I find myself in. Found this thing where this guy he's a scientist. He's a scientist, a literal scientist, and he
Uh,
loves movies. And of course, what's his favorite side? Sci-fi movies. So he has this little thing that he does where he judges the science of a film
ah.
based on real life. And sometimes they end up mocking it because it's just ridiculous, and other times they're going, actually, there is some precedence that can possibly lead to that.
That's
And
really cool.
has a lot of the good stuff. You know what I mean? And one of the
Like
ones that,
plausible, like, hey,
like, yeah,
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 this
like,
yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome.
the still suits, for instance. If you think about astronaut suits, they're already basically for the most part doing a lot of that stuff. It's not reclaiming water, but and recycling it. But
Yeah.
well, that's the next step, right? And we keep in mind, Dune is literally 20,000 years in the future from where we're at now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So obviously that's possible in that, if you think about that.
Yeah.
But the coolest one was the sandworms. I didn't even think he was going to go into it. I was like, well, sandworms are not real. What are we talking about here? You know what I mean?
Evolution. Do they evolutionize? Oh my god.
Yes, I mean, yes, that's possible. But no, it was the flowing of how it was flowing in the sand. It basically moved through the sand like it was moving through water. But it's like, this is sand, and sand, when it sits still, that could be as hard as just landing on fucking stone. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how is that whatever? And it was the vibrations. And then he started showing videos, of which I've started looking up, of them showing vibrations and air pockets within sand make it so you can literally dive into it like water. And I'm like,
Oh
oh,
wow.
and you remember those scenes in the film where you see their hands start sinking into the sand. Obviously, it's the worm creating that, but if it's creating that, then that's how it's able to flow through it. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's fucking genius. Who thought of this? I need to know. You know what I mean? This is what I love about good sci-fi, bro. When you can
Yeah.
get good sci-fi and then apply something that makes sense in the real world, it's just fucking genius, bro.
It's not fucking magical cosmic bullshit.
Correct. Yes. Which a lot of sci-fi is that magical
Yes.
cosmic. It's like they realize it's sci-fi, but they decided to use a very fantasy element to it,
Yes.
and it's just like, well, now you're just making shit up at this point.
Because
You know
bro,
what I mean?
it's
Yeah.
because it's sci-fi.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gives them the excuse basically, and nope, it shouldn't
suppose.
be like that.
I suppose.
Or it shouldn't be like that though. Yeah.
It shouldn't be. And when it's good sci-fi, Christopher Nolan tends to make good sci-fi. This is Denis Villeneuve, and
Uh-huh.
he's made great sci-fi. I mean, 20 Blade Runner 2049,
Mhm.
Arrival. You know what I mean? These are two probably one. Well, I know Arrival definitely is probably one of the best that I can
Yes.
remember of being a sci-fi. Anyway, so just a little Tanya, if you're ever curious, if you've seen the movie and curious about that, there's this guy out there that has I don't think in everything he brought up, it was like, yes, there is some sort of thing now that, given time, we can get to there, or we're already there. It just hasn't expanded as much as it did in that film. So
Mm.
so look for that if you're into that. But anyway, aside from that, what I've watched is a lot of movies, which again, I feel like this is the season, along with football. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm obviously into football, and I'm a little pissed off because I am 3-5 right now. I am one spot out of being the beer wench for next year, and I am not
Oh
a happy
shit!
man.
You've never
Okay.
been the beer wench.
I have never been near the beer, not even close to it, and I am literally 11 out of 12.
You're gonna have to give some context to the new listeners.
So, I mean, if anybody knows fantasy football, that's what I'm playing, fantasy football. And right now, I am 3-5. I am one game outside of the next spot, which is 2-6. And yeah,
Lose another one.
it's not looking good.
But
So now I'm like,
and what happens if you lose?
so yeah, if we lose next year's draft, the loser, the last place person is the beer wench. And what that basically means is that during the draft, you are called upon at any point to serve drinks for the other team owners. And so no one
That's
wants to be the
hilarious.
beer wench. And
Uh-oh.
for a long time, we had my brother-in-law, which is Ed, and he was the beer wench, but he was a dangerous beer wench because he loved serving everyone stuff. People left here
Yeah,
like,
if
guys,
this
you
is
probably
not
need
fun when the person enjoys it.
yeah, no. People left here dangerously like, guys, I feel like we should Uber all of you guys home at some point. You know what I mean? But you know how it is. People get together like, no, I got this. Like, oh my God. Praying everybody gets home good. But that's how that was. And many a times I went to sleep right after the draft because I was like done. I was like, I just need to rest.
Yes.
Anyway, so that's taken up a lot of my time, and because of that, I also there's a lot of films that I have been missed upon, and I get frustrated when I see my list, and it just grows. It just grows on its own, bro.
Whose fault
On
is
its
that?
own. It's
Whose
not my
fault is
fault. It's
that?
not my fault. It is growing on its own. Um. Anyway, so I've seen a few, and I'm gonna start with this one, which is actually a Netflix joint called Malcolm and Marie. And the reason I watched this mostly was because Zendaya's in it, and I still feel a little cheated
Oh.
from not having Zendaya in a lot of Zendaya in Dune. And so I was like, well, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna make up for that. And so this is a movie.
The first
Stars.
random movie.
No, this was on my list, so I kind of had it in
Okay.
there. This is a movie, two characters. That's it in a house. John David Washington, which yes is the son of Denzel Washington, also the main character of Tenet, and Zendaya. And so John David Washington's the director. He just came home from a preview of his movie. Everything looks like it's going to be okay. Zendaya is his girlfriend, and we suddenly get into what has to. And I think all of us at one point or another in our life have gotten into the argument of all arguments within a relationship. You know what I mean? It lasts hours. There's crying, there's screaming, there is fuck this, there's holding and you know what I mean? And it's exhausting. It's just like, and that's what this movie is. Essentially,
Wow.
it's just them two. Now the cool thing is the way it's the story is told, in the sense that
Sounds
obviously
exhausting already.
I'm not gonna lie. I paused it and put it down for a little bit. Went to did something, came back. So I was like, oh, man, this is something. It's one of those things where it's like, imagine you're in the house, right? Maybe you should come over here, right? And me and Joe now suddenly have the worst fight of our life, and you and Junior sitting
In the
there
middle.
viewing it, not saying nothing, just spectators
God.
in the entire thing. That's essentially what it felt like most of the time. I'm like, because dude, it gets rough. It's cursing. It's like, I mean, it's belittling, and I'm just like, man, it's rough. Anyway, but the movie is actually pretty cool. It's filmed in black and white. I'm not entirely sure why it is, but it is. And
that's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is. It does have good music, and I did enjoy it. Again, this is a Netflix joint, so at any point on Netflix, if anyone is interested in that, anyone is interested in being uncomfortable for about 2 hours. Although to be fair, there was some like those moments where you laugh loud, and me too, because I was watching this when my wife is working. And I was just like blurted out laughter because of a specific scene. You know what I mean? It's just like, and it has those weird moments. It's the ultimate rainbow of emotions that you can have in a film, except for fear. You know what I mean? Fear is not really involved. But anyway, really cool. I enjoyed it. I give it easily a 3.5. I think it was really good.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right.
So again, that's Malcolm and Marie. Only 2 actors. This was a film made during the pandemic, purposefully, because things got put on pause and all this. And I think Zendaya reached out to the directors. Hey, can you put something together? Whatever, we'll do it. And boom, it was filmed within a couple of days. It only takes place in the house that they're in.
Yeah.
And it's just them two. There's no one else. So.
And it will still manage to be entertaining and
still manage to be entertaining.
Uncomfortable at the same time.
Yeah, I will definitely say it's one of those I have no reason to ever watch again. You know what I mean? But definitely, it's only an hour and 46 minutes, so it's not like super long. And some great performances. I mean, that's the reality of it. Zendaya and John Washington are really good at what they. I mean, they are literally verbally cutting each other at some points. You know what I mean? It's like, ouch. You know, it's like you haven't seen it yet, and I don't want to say it. I know it, but there are some. This is all I'll say, because you're in the middle of of Now How I Met Your Mother. What's the other one? Big Bang Theory. And
yes,
the 3 girls at some point have a night, and I'm not going to spoil what happens, but Penny is in the middle while the other 2 are really kind of arguing, and one of them says something that is so like, oh, that had to hurt. That,
Oh.
that Penny just goes, damn, oh, I can't say nothing, just like, oh, that just hurt hearing, that's the type of shit that kind of happens. He's like,
Wow.
oof, I couldn't say that to an enemy, no
It's
less of a person I love. You know what I mean? It's like, it's no way.
exactly.
But anyway, it does have that, and it is what it is, guys. I mean, what are you gonna
Damn.
the other one I saw was actually based on a true story, and the reason I saw it is because it was based on a true story, and that is called Battle of the Sexes. If you have not heard this,
Okay.
this movie stars Emma Stone, Steve Carell. It's based on a true story in 1973 of a tennis match between world number one, Billie Jean King, wife of Larry King. Yes, a very young Larry King at the time, and ex-champion and serial hustler Bobby Riggs. This is a time where the women were just getting the women's tennis was just becoming big, and there was a lot of push because they're like, women are just as entertaining, they're just as good, and yet they're making a fraction of what the men do. And of course, the argument all across this film, by the way, it's one of those you go, damn, I can't believe people would say some shit like today. There's no one there, no man would say the shit that was said in this, because we've seen it. Companies will excommunicate them. It's just like, nope,
Yes.
you
At
don't
that
work
point,
here
it's like,
anymore,
nope.
and that's it. Your name is getting peeled off the wall and all that good shit. So, but yeah, it's the shit that
Activision says hi.
Activision says, "Oh yeah." The shit that is said is just like, no, and very casual. Like, no, people want to see men. That men are stronger. This is a much better sport because of men. Shit like that. It's just like,
Wow.
fucking hell. And so Emma Stone plays, of course, the Billie Jean King, and for whatever reason, Bobby Riggs, which is played by Steve Carell, challenges the women, the top-ranking women, to prove that it does. And he, by the way, he is an ex-champ. He's already in his 40s, early 50s,
Oh
and
wow.
saying, even as this, I can. And these are women who are tennis players in their prime. He challenges them. And this is a true story, so I mean, I'll speak openly, but not too openly about it. There is actually, by the way, which is really cool, YouTube has the entire broadcast of it, the ABC broadcast of it's literally was called Battle of the Sexes, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, you can see the entire tennis match between them two on this thing.
Wow. And you did.
And I haven't yet. It's saved, but I haven't yet. The movies is actually pretty good. Obviously, Emma Stone is awesome.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of a, how do I say this without sounding bad? There's a little bit of a story behind it, I feel, that is important, but was pushed maybe a little bit more important, because I was really wanting to see the matches between, because I mean,
But
spoilers, guys. I don't think I have to spoil this. Again, 1973, she obviously wins, but how
it
it
would have
happened.
made a good movie.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Yeah, no one wants that story, and that probably would have set everything back, God knows how many years. But so the that was the part that I was looking forward to, and it really wasn't getting into the matches. It was really getting into a little bit of a love triangle between whatever, and I was just like, I guess this is okay,
This
but
doesn't feel like
I
it's the
feel
primary
like this
thing,
wasn't
yeah.
the main thing of the movie, and I don't know if that's where the reviews came in. The reviews were mediocre to good is kind of the range, and I still like it because Steve Carell's great. Emma Stone is awesome. And so it's a great film because I think I really like the film. Or it's a really good film, I should say. I feel, nowadays I have the ranking in my head, but anyway, the my one critique would be that I feel like there were some matches I would like to have seen. I want to see how good they are and stuff like that, and you really didn't see it till the end. And at that point, I was like, okay, well, I guess if they don't show it here, this would have been a shit movie. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's pretty decent. And so this one I do recommend. Again, I'm going to give this one a 3.5. Again, that's Battle of the Sexes.
We're handling the 3.5s, huh?
Yeah, because they're more than good, but they're not great. That's the truth. They're not great. And last, I started this, haven't finished it. I'm probably a little bit past the halfway point of the series, and I'm sure you've heard this title because
Uh,
it has been in the mouths of many a people in the last month or so. And
oh
that, of
boy.
course, is Squid Game on
Oh, of
Netflix.
course.
Okay.
Even my wife has watched that, and I haven't.
Okay. So first off, I'm gonna get this out there. I am enjoying it.
Wait,
I
what do you
am.
mean you are enjoying? Is this a series?
This is a series. Yes, this is a. It. I don't know if there's gonna be a season 2. I haven't finished it yet. I'm only on like episode 6 of 9.
I thought that was a
Um,
movie. So this is a
no, it's a series.
series.
Yeah, it's a series.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
And it is. If anybody has ever seen Battle Royale, the movie, it's which inspired Hunger Games, for instance. It falls within that line essentially. The difference is there's an invitation as opposed to being forced somehow into these particular games, and the invitees are folks
Mm,
who are generally struggling with money, owe a lot of money, gamblers, uh, dope addicts, stuff like that, and they end up playing these games, which they don't know until obviously get there. It, they tend to be children's games. For instance, red light, green light. I think everybody has played that at some point in their life. Um,
mm,
and but the difference is if you don't play well, you die. But the thing is, for every person that dies, their money, what they would have earned, falls
mhm.
into the pot. So at first it's
Uh,
freaks them out, like I don't want to play this, but then they see the money. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I can do this, and this is just children's
is,
games. It's.
is there like an explanation of why this will be sanctioned or anything like
It's
that?
not.
That
It's
doesn't make.
completely hidden. It is.
Oh,
It
it's
is a
hidden.
very.
Okay.
Is yeah. It's a very. It's a Korean. First of all, this is a Korean series, and it's hidden. No one knows about it. Well, some people know about it, but for the most part, the public doesn't know about it, and they don't need to
Mm,
because they only prey on those who are like really in debt and really struggling, and they
mm,
almost don't even need to convince them because just the sight of money is enough for that. And so there's some really cool characters in this, and there's some really good moments so far, like really tense moments, because you start to, the beauty of it being a series is you start to like some of the characters, so
mm.
you root for them, you don't want anything to happen to them, and the reality is anything can happen to them at any point, you know what I mean. um
So Game of Thrones the shit out of it.
it is really more Hunger Games. I mean, it's more Hunger Games
Oh,
than anything
Hunger
else.
Games. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hunger Games, but the difference is there are rules and there are particular games. So when they're not playing a game, they're just in this huge room with bunk beds, and that's where they're at in between games. Um, and well, I won't spoil anything, but there's things that can happen there too. You know what I mean? So, but it's not sanctioned by the game. And then, of course, there's some sort of conspiracy and everything in the background and other things going on. Because, like it or not, somebody's going to start asking questions because everyone in the world
Mhm.
has someone in their family who can fit this bill. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Where it's like you don't want to call them a low life because they're family, but they're kind of a low life. You know what I mean? And so when they go missing, you know, you start to ask questions. So,
Yeah.
so that's where we're at in the story. And I kept putting this off because I was like, when I get to that big hype on something, it literally normally turns me off even more. It's like I now it's not that I don't think it's gonna be good. I just don't want to watch it because everybody's talking about it. You know what I mean? And I let the shit die down a little bit, and it's like, all right, let me throw one on. And you know what? Credit where credit's due. It's not great. I still feel like some of the other stuff are, and I think the hype behind it is probably bigger than it should be, but it's not bad. It's actually very good.
Mm.
And if you can watch it in dubbed, so it's English and it sounds, it sounds and everything's fine.
Uh,
Or you can watch it, it's an original and have it subtitled. I am watching it in English because I just really want to see what's going on and not
uh-huh.
have to stop and because things happen quickly.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so far it's really good. And there's some silly dialogue that can come with some of these things. It is what it is. In the end, the emotions and the way they do things, and it's just you still
I mean,
end up wanting the best for some of these folks, and it's funny, and it's also very funny. I also find it pretty hilarious too. So
you said it's funny in the sense of what? In the sense of that it's silly, or that the dub is kind of like
the dub,
forced because
yeah, no, the dub is fine. It's just the dialogue,
okay,
the writing, I guess you can say.
okay.
The writing, sometimes you go, ooh, this feels a little.
Or it might be lost in translation because
It could be. It could be.
not
Yeah.
meant to be translated. Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
happens.
And or maybe, yeah, exactly. And so when you hear it that way, sometimes it sounds a little silly. But you put that all aside, it has some genuinely funny moments, some genuinely touching moments too, where it's just like, oh, yeah, you really. There's some folks where you're like, you're rooting for them. You know what I mean? And then they're put into a predicament many a times where it's like, oh, this is not gonna come out. Someone's not gonna come out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is what it is, because they're still playing the game. There's 6 games total, and I think they have done 3. And they started almost 500 people, and they're less than 100 at this point. So and there's 6 games, so it cuts through people, and it's also very not extremely, but gory. You know what I'm saying? There's blood. There's plenty of blood in this thing.
Yeah.
But nothing that you just feel sick watching or anything like that. It's gory. It's almost silly gory sometimes. But yeah. So anyway, that's Squid Games, which I'm sure, based on how
I
many
never
people
heard of
talk
it.
about it, I'm sure most people listening.
Nobody has mentioned it to me. I'm learning this right now. So
No, you just said your wife watched it. Come on.
no,
Now.
I know, of course. Yeah. Everybody in the world and the polygons of the world and Kotakus have talked about this. So.
I expected that to be the Halloween outfit for the year, and I surprisingly saw very few of them.
But they were there.
They were
'Cause I
there.
saw
That's
them.
true. They were there. But I've expected more. I expected Harley Quinn levels, and I didn't get that. So
Oh, nothing gets to Harley Quinn level at this point.
this is true.
No.
This is true. But anyway, that is all that I have been doing.
I am the Black Knight.
That was horrible. I didn't like that at all. All right.
Are you kidding me? I think we were pretty much in sync. At least
No,
I was
'cause
syncing myself with you. But
Mine was short, yours long. The
mean,
intonation, I mean.
I mean,
It didn't
there's
it
not much more we
didn't
can do
work for
about
me.
that, sir. I'm
It
just
didn't
saying.
work. Trailer of the week. There you
Nice. Okay. I like it. We can. You know what we could do? We could stitch those two together. We'll stitch those in post. And it'll be just one whole awesome trailer of the week.
go. It's just gonna sound like. That's what it's gonna sound like.
I mean, now I feel like you're attacking my editing skills, but that's fine.
No. It's my turn this time, so I got no
Oh,
choice.
that's right. That's right. Okay. Sir, we had
Sir?
2 trailers, but I still stand by that I feel like there really is only one. But let's bring up the runner-up, if you will, that did not make the cut, and just briefly go into why we think it didn't make the cut.
so that we can have chaos like yell at us.
This is definitely an edgy ass fucking movie for chaos, right?
When you think edgy, think chaos.
Yes, and you will also think of Morbius, which is the new film coming from Sony Pictures and Marvel Entertainment of another villain within the world of Spider-Man universe. Yes, we already have Venom, and now we have Morbius, and I feel that we'll see more of these. Just FYI. Your thoughts, sir, on this particular trailer?
That's what they're doing. I don't. I mean, I don't know who this character was. So if he was a villain, he was probably like
He's an anti-hero.
He's an anti-hero. Okay, so that's gonna be Sony's thing. It's gonna be like, well, Disney already had all the good guys, and we lend them Spider-Man. So we might as well just pick up the villains, but we don't want to make them. We don't want to make them too evil. So Venom, whatever. That movie was a disgrace, and I don't even care to watch the second one.
The second one, but man, I hear is even worse than the first, and I didn't like the first one. So
wow.
that alone says my cousin went to see it, and she literally posted. You know how you posted your face once when you saw a movie, and it's just I don't think you posted. You just shared a video of you giving the biggest grimace in the world, and you think you tagged it like how I feel after watching blank movie. This was basically what she sent. You know what I mean? I was just like, and then I was like, I reached out, I was like, who the fuck told you to go see fucking Venom 2? Well, and of course I forgot that she has two, two nephews of mine, like,
oh, there you go.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Well, I mean, I mean, I don't know what they done in the I don't know why we're talking about Venom, but we are gonna anyway because who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit about Morbius? No.
But exactly. But the first I remember when I learned about Venom, I thought that he was like a really kick-ass villain for Spider-Man. It was like it sounded fantastic. I don't know if because he became so, you know how the property suddenly becomes there's a lot of people are interested on this property, so let's say we make him change his way. Maybe he's not as evil. Maybe he's just like an anti-hero, but he's still a good guy. At the
that's
end,
exactly what they did to Venom.
That's what happened. Oh, fuck that shit.
Because Venom was
Because
so there are so for the record, I take that back. Later stories of Venom had him become more of an anti-hero, but early on he was just the villain. Like his initial release, he was just a villain.
Yeah.
And it's like we're rushing to the later portions where it's like we haven't even got the villain Venom, and you're
which
already
would have been amazing.
Yeah,
it would have been the freaking Joker to Batman. Venom would have been to Spider-Man, but no. I mean, not in the sense of being interesting, not in the sense of being
a similar character. I know what you mean.
because Doc Ock is, to me, I think Doc Ock is the Joker of Spider-Man.
Doc Ock, you should definitely see Spider-Man 2, and I know you don't want to, and you probably never will, but you definitely should try to watch that one because
no, I intend to, because remember, worlds are colliding, so I guess I have no fucking choice.
Yeah, this is very true.
I have to watch that. I have to watch the musical. It's so terrible.
Oh damn. So this leads me to going back to Morbius. They lead me to what I think
that's what we were talking about.
Is going to happen here, and I think this is one of the characters of the Sinister Six. Sinister Six has been on Sony's fucking agenda for what feels like 2 decades at this point,
and they haven't pulled it up yet. Huh?
No, they haven't pulled. They haven't pulled the fucking trigger on it. But with the new Spider-Man: No Way Home, now it's possible. Now you can bring together these characters, right? And if they survive the universes that they could pull out of and suddenly exist in the universe, in one universe that we're in, now you have your Sinister Six. And not only you have them, you have like iconic characters who are playing them. You know what I mean? Alfred Molina, first off, is an excellent fucking actor. I love Alfred Molina, everything he fucking does. And to see him as his version of Doc Ock is probably one of the closer ones that you have for the game Marvel Spider-Man, where it was a professional relationship and they the two liked each other, not as similar as that where they were working together all the time and all that, but they were within the same realm, and there was a level of respect from both characters. Both people, Doc, what is his name? Octavius, respect for Peter Parker, and Peter Parker respect for Octavius. That when you have the confrontation, it has that similar. Oh no, I don't want this. You know what I mean? It has that similar feeling to it. So
I love that.
So yeah, so him coming back, it feels like Sandman may be coming back from Part 3. Shocker may be coming back from The Amazing Spider-Man. Lizard may be coming back also from The Amazing Spider-Man. And those are 4. And then we saw what would be the what the fuck is it called? What's his name? Green Goblin. The Green Goblin bomb which let me tell you, it's that's one of the better. I rewatched the first Spider-Man recently, and yes, I was like, okay, yes, it's a
Yeah,
product of its time. It's a very early comic book movie, but I still like
but it
what they
works.
did there. Yeah, it does work. And so to get that together and then to think, okay, well now you're going to include some other characters. Is that's five, mind you? Is Morbius the sixth? Is Venom the sixth? Is Venom now the remains the anti-hero and he's fighting said six? Because there is a rumor that after this film
uh
neither Sony or Marvel can use Spider-Man for some reason. So like some weird contract, whatever.
What?
Yeah, something really strange, and it's just like,
Based on what? It seems. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
well, so
Explain.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's a rumor. Sony owns the rights,
Right.
and they have to continue making those films in order to continue with those rights. But since they merged and they started saying, okay, we can work together, we don't know what the details of the new deal is, and there was this weird fucking rumor where, and this is a rumor, guys, so don't put this is grain of salt
Credence
here.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um that chances are Spider-Man may not make Tom Holland's Spider-Man may
Uh,
not make it out of this particular Spider-Man, and the character dies, and because of
oh
an
wow.
agreement, and in doing so neither can use it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's one of those things like, are you serious? Is that really a thing? Of course it hasn't been proven, it's only a rumor,
Let me
but
tell you
it's
something though. That will make. I mean, not that Tom Holland's Spider Man. It's a cool version of Spider Man.
Mhm.
I actually learned to really appreciate it from from my earlier misgivings. But if that were sort of to happen, it'll be kind of convenient to set the tone for a Mike Morales Spider-Man
Exactly. Yep.
Sony
That's
exclusive
the thought process
version.
behind it. Yep. That's
Yeah.
exactly the thought process behind it. It's like, okay, so now we got Peter Parker out of the way, because Peter Parker is the character that's in flux all the
Mm-hmm.
time. But
Mm-hmm.
now it's done, and Miles Morales is not, and but we still own Spider-Man. You know what I mean? So
That's
that
right.
becomes
Yeah.
that weird little gray area. But anyway, the point is, if it goes to that, they can obviously use that, or if the backup is, well, we have Venom and he can become the anti-hero, and maybe he takes on the Sinister Six, even though I think there's a version that he's part of the Sinister Six. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Multiverse.
Yeah, exactly. So overall, I think the trailer was speaking of the trailer, I think the trailer actually it wasn't bad. It really wasn't. It looked like your typical Marvel fare thrown in with a little bit of vampire, you know, lore.
This is the most Batman that has ever Batman. I mean,
Pretty
this is
much.
literally a bat man
Yeah.
named Man.
With the nose and everything, that weird
But-
little pucked up
and the
nose. But he got,
ears and the
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So I
It's
agree.
incredible. He
It
out
doesn't
Batman.
the well, yeah, that remains to be seen. But yeah, he
Well, yeah.
definitely from the batness, maybe a batness,
Battiness.
battiness. The
There you go.
battiness, yes, definitely goes to Morbius. But I don't know.
Uh,
Overall, it didn't look bad. But it definitely, for me, was not the shining.
no, I wouldn't give the honor to Morbius.
Yes. What I gave the honor to, and I guess you will agree because there's only two, so is
Not
8-Bit
true.
Christmas.
Oh snap! Tell me about
Yes.
AB's Christmas because I also watched the trailer with you and I watched it before and I thought Mad Dog is gonna hate this, so I'm not even gonna bother showing him this. It literally happened last night. It literally happened yesterday. I was
It
like,
is. So what this is basically, to me, this is just me, and I'm sure I guess it's not technically just me because it is mentioned in the trailer itself. But this is clearly an homage to a Christmas story. Christmas Story tells the story of a kid or a grown man, I should say, of the 80s who thinks back of his childhood back in the 60s. You know what I mean?
mm,
And it's about, if I'm sure everybody at some point has seen it or know about it. It's a kid with glasses, an adorable kid with glasses, and it's the narration is hilarious because of
mm,
the little things that he mentions and what he thought, and the whole, no, we're not gonna let you get you a BB gun. You're gonna shoot your eye out. You know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
line that just rings in forever. And the lamp with the sexy leg lamp that everybody knows that the father ends up getting, and you're like, what the hell? And of course, he puts it in like the window so the entire neighbor can see it, but it looks like this sexy leg from a fucking the strip joint with a lamp on. It's the weirdest thing in the world. And of course, everything that goes on with that. Anyway, that particular film is classic as all classic gets. I literally watch it every year, without a doubt. Every year, because it's played somewhere a bajillion times. So it's like it's easy to catch, And then when you put it on, it's like, oh, this is so good. It's just so good. And this is our generation. When I say our generation, I'm talking about the ones who were raised in the 80s and recall
So
this.
the Xers, the
yeah,
Generation Xers. So you
Yes.
millennials can see yourselves out.
Yes, this
for
is
the
not
next
for you. Please
5 minutes.
exit stage left. It is definitely meant for us. And the moment I saw it, it's an exaggeration of the excitement we had with the Nintendo Entertainment System, or Sega, for those who,
Exaggeration.
for those, no, exaggeration in the sense of, because he's obviously exaggerating the story, you know what I mean, but it's that
It looks kind of accurate from what I remember, but then again, I was a kid, so I
I'm
might
pretty
remember
sure
things very
that
vividly.
my Nintendo, the first time I saw a Nintendo Entertainment System, there weren't these like neon lights flashing out of it.
Lasers?
You know what I mean?
You didn't have lasers on your Nintendo? Oh my god, man!
I didn't.
You didn't live then.
I guess not. Yeah. I guess
Let me
not.
tell you.
But yes, so there's a lot of that. And oh, by the way, Neil Patrick Harris, come on now. Immediately is like,
I know.
yes, I'm fucking in. Here's my money. Oh wait, I'm already paying for the service because it's coming to HBO Max, which is even better. I'm gonna watch that
man.
like every day in December. Every day, I'm gonna come out of work, walk into the living room, throw it on, sit back and watch it.
We don't even know if it's gonna be that good. We're
It's
just putting the
NPH,
trust
bro.
on
NPH. He
Okay,
makes
yeah.
things good.
And newer is always better.
And newer. Exactly. Oh, by the
As he
way,
was saying.
that is a line of his in How I Met Your
Yes,
Mother. Yes, newer
exactly.
is always better.
That's how I learned.
So yeah, that I immediately said, like, I didn't know. I just threw it on, whatever, and I was like, oh, let's see what the fuck this is. And I was just like, oh my god, dude. I was just like, hell yeah, I'm in, bro. Hell yeah.
Day
I'm in.
one.
Day one, I'm watching that shit. So yeah, that is 8-Bit Christmas, and frankly, I'm just gonna throw that shit into the fucking group because everybody needs a little bit of 8-Bit Christmas in their life.
Yes.
I think
yes.
we
And we
do.
will include all generations.
oh,
Except Y's.
except for the crazy ones because they're fucking crazy at this point. They need to adjust their thought process.
Fix their generation.
Fix their generations. You're not you're not doing any justice for anybody.
And I'm not too fond of baby boomers either, so I'm kidding. I'm joking. Love you, Mom.
All right, guys. That moves us on into our next topic, and that, of course, is the Mouthfuls Games Radar.
Oh, we have radars we have games on the radar and radars in the games. Oh God.
I'm horrible. I am not. I'm
Done.
definitely not no Winslow. Mike
No,
Winslow up in here.
no.
Not even close. Jesus. We've got 4 bogeys on said radar. And the first one, of course, as the aforementioned Mr. Santos said, Forza Horizon 4 coming to PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS.
+1. Forza
Oh.
Horizon 5.
What did I say? Oh, did I say 4? I meant 5.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Forza Horizon. It says 5. Why did I say 4? All right. Forza Horizon 5.
It's behind.
PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. Technically coming out November 9th. But if you have underhanded deals, you can obviously score it early on. So have at it. And of course, then we have the sequel to Jurassic World Evolution 2. Which I know not a lot to do, but this was the Park Simulator, also coming to PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, also on the 9th. Then, of course, we have Grand Theft Auto I'm gonna say this right. Grand Theft Auto the trilogy dash the definitive edition coming to everything
It's like a
except for
website.
Stadia. Yeah, coming out on November 11th. And then finally, this is more of a hey, in case you're interested, it's out there. The Game and Watch Legend of Zelda, which is a clock and a game game console, a tiny mini game console. The Game and Watch Legend of Zelda comes out on November 12th, which is, to be fair, kind of a cool little Christmas gift if you're interested in giving that to anyone.
Did you saw the I don't have it as part of my news or anything like that, but the fact that Nintendo reveal of their expansion to their online, it's the most downvoted YouTube video.
Yes.
So it's like, okay,
I did see that, and that is
Nintendo.
I mean, for every 2 or 3 steps, they fall back one every so often. It's just what it is,
they tumble on this one evidently. Because
yeah, maybe
people are
this is
not
2
happy
steps
with
back,
them.
yeah, perhaps. All right, that moves us on into our useless news that you all can use. And I'm gonna start off the top with one of the most exciting pieces of news to me, just to me, because
Just to you.
I'm all about the indies.
Of course.
Sony Interactive Entertainment is reportedly set to make a 5% investment in Devolver Digital. Yes.
This one had the best things that you like, Sony and Devolver Digital. And the rest of it is like, it didn't matter what it was. As long as you can put them together.
A new story
somehow.
with the 2 names in.
We're gonna mention it.
The PlayStation Maker will acquire a minority stake in the US-based publisher, which today began floating on London Stock Exchange, according to GameIndustry.biz. Devolver Digital is now trading on AIM, a submarket in London Stock Exchange, following a flotation that values the company at almost $1 billion. The European law firm advising Devolver, Phil Fisher, confirmed that it had received a significant strategy investment from a key industry player. Of course, that player is Sony Entertainment System. Founded in 2009, the Austin, Texas-based company is a publisher of many high-profile indie games, including Hotline Miami, Fall Guys, and the more recent Death's Door, which, fun fact, that's coming soon. Or I shouldn't get. Actually, it's out now on PlayStation Plus, or soon. I don't know. It's available soon. Its upcoming titles include Weird West, Shadow Warrior 3, Demon Throttle, and the Talos Principle 2. An IPO is the right choice for us to ensure our continued growth and support even more wonderful games, said by Douglas Morin, which is Devolver Digital's CEO. Most importantly, it will allow us to retain our culture. Being a public company gives liquidity to our amazing teams, all of whom are shareholders. It also gives us access to capital markets to continue investing in our growth and strategy, and blah, 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 blah. Basically, that's a lot of business talk stating that Sony is impressed and has invested in Devolver Digital, which further empowers Devolver Digital to make some of the awesome indies that they make, or to publish some of the awesome indies that they do. And frankly, that's just all good news. That's just all good news for somebody like me.
I can see that purchase happening. Honestly, because Devolver Digital,
purchase. You think they're going to purchase them?
I mean, they could. It could. They should, honestly, because when you hear about, obviously, investing on it's a level of interest, and having, like, Devolver Digital has always been the makers of this, like, quirky, interesting indie games.
Original too. Very original.
Very original. Yeah. So it's definitely a plus to have in your house. It's definitely something that, unless if you want to avoid the competition, swallowing them up, and the competition is, there's rumors that they're looking for stuff to buy still. Up to these days, it's good to like hold them in. It almost feels like, oh, I'm putting a reserve on Devolver
Yeah,
Digital
this
as a
is
whole. I'm pre-ordering Devolver
this
Digital.
is us saying, "Hey, bitches, stay away." Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can see that. It's one of those things where, as a company,
Uh,
you know, it would depend, right? Because a lot of these move. This is just me, and this is just my non-business knowing anything. But um, certain moves can look like, "Hey, we want to support what you're doing and
mm.
keep you where you're at. Don't go anywhere else." You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's more of that as opposed to, hey, we're going to eventually acquire
We're
you.
gonna
Because the
complete.
reality
Yeah.
is, you're going to release stuff on our console anyway, and we'll get some deals and we'll have some of the stuff come to us first before anything else.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that will continue as normal. And you're still going to get the product. So sometimes it's like, there's a line that gets used a lot in one of these podcasts I listen to, and that is, why buy the cow when you can just buy the milk, or something like that. It's like, you're already getting the milk. Why do you need to buy the cow? Do you know what I'm saying?
Because then you get the profits of the cow rather than just getting the milk. Now you get
True,
the
but
milk
then
and
you
the
have
profit
to.
of the cow.
True, but now you have to pay for the expenditure of taking care of said cow. When,
Yeah, but
as a
that's
purchaser
what,
of the milk, you never have
if
to pay
it's
for that.
if
you
it's
know?
if it's profit if it's profitable as it seems that Devolver Digital has been successful with the titles, like why not? It could very well be a very good acquisition, and I totally get it. Yeah, and it makes sense. It could just be an investment just to keep in. Hey,
We
we're
like who you
offering
are. We
offering
like who
you
you're saying. Yeah,
support and all
stay
that, but
there. Yeah.
the jumping like I don't think Sony's gonna jump in and buy fucking Sega, for example, right? As it's already been like they're already rumblings of Microsoft considering. The thing is, it's so abstract right now that it's not news. Like nobody has put only the tabloid sites have talked about it, and you usually can't trust those
Yeah.
sources. So, but they could do okay with stellar smaller studios, and those stellar smaller studios, they don't have to, they don't have to just stay making small games. I mean, look at freaking Housemark and what
No,
they ended up
for sure.
delivering.
But that's the developer. You're getting
Developer, right?
so here's the deal: is you're getting the talent that's making the game, as opposed to going through and buying Devolver Digital, where you're
Mhm.
just buying the publishing house who publishes games of developers who are you know what I'm saying? Now
Right,
you
right,
have a
right.
bigger thing that you need to pay for. Now you have to pay for this publishing house
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you really just want what they're giving you, and all you need to do is, you really don't have to do much because they're going to bring it to you anyway.
yeah.
It's going to already be there. So yes, I get you don't want it to you don't want it to get walled off suddenly by another competitor, but I
Hmm.
feel like this investment allows Devolver Digital to say, should someone come out with this massive whatever, go, we're good, fam, we're good.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
We're getting
So
treated well here.
exactly,
Thank you.
exactly.
We don't
So
want to become the
exactly.
man as they've always been trying to
Correct. So
avoid
I feel like this is a
becoming.
strategic move to allow that and
Right.
still get the aforementioned milk.
Yeah.
The games
The
that they are
proverbial
publishing,
milk.
because they're the ones who are Devolver Digital are the ones who are, in essence, cherry picking these, right?
Right.
You have a lot of these indie studios who go to them and go, they know these guys want, quality original content, and we want to do this. And they cherry
Hmm.
pick and filter out the ones that are good and move them forward. And it's like, and
Yeah.
they move them forward where? To PC, to console, it's like they're already coming to these places anyway. We just
Hmm.
want you to stay what you're doing. Don't feel the need to have to go anywhere else. You know what I mean? And I feel
Yeah.
that's just me. This is a theory. I have no fucking
And
idea. And again, I
and
don't know.
I feel like a corporate bought Devolver Digital. It's kind of like killing its spirit.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I think Devolver knows that. And I think they know that they're doing well, and I think just
Yeah.
this quick little 5% investment to say we know you're doing well, and we want to want you to continue doing well.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep supplying the world with some of the best indies. That's all we want you to do. While if they, and by doing that, and say the competitor comes in again, this is all conjecture. I have no fucking idea. I'm not a business fucking whatever. But
Mhm.
these are the angles that a lot of these things are looked at, and that is by doing that. Should a someone I won't say names, Microsoft, come in and say, hey, we want to purchase you for this, they can sit back and go, no, we're good because we have the backing of the industry, other leaders in the industry for
Right.
us to be where we're at. You know what I mean? And I think that's way more beneficial to the
Yeah.
industry than being gobbled up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. That makes sense. Uh, my piece of news, guys, and honestly, I don't have much because it has been a cool week. I feel like this is the week where games are have been released and things are coming
All about
and we're
reviews
excited
right now.
about.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. But as far as hot of the presses, I mean, this is still related to Forza Horizon 5. So Forza Horizon 5 will add an on-screen sign language interpreter. Forza Horizon contains tons of wonderful accessibility features to make the game as inclusive as possible. And a post-launch update will add another great one: an on-screen sign language interpreter that will sign either American Sign Language (ASL) or British Sign Language (BSL) during the game cinematic. Uh, as detailed in Xbox Wire's blog post and an accompanying video about Forza Horizon's 5 accessibility features, the interpreter will appear in a picture-in-picture display near the bottom of the screen, and either ASL or BSL can be chosen depending on the player's preference. This is a great addition to Forza Horizon 5, a game that IGN gave, and they're calling it a rare 10 out of 10.
Not lately.
And said is, quote, the result of a racing studio at the peak of its craft and the best open world racing game available, end quote. It is also one of the few games to feature sign language in such a prominent way. There have been other games like Oculus Quest and PlayStation's VR Moss that saw its main character use sign language to speak to the player. Hopefully, Forza Horizon's decision to add it will have a ripple effect across the industry, and more developers will think to include it if they're able. As Microsoft has said in the past, when everyone's played, we all win. Okay. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean it that way. I mean it in the sense of, well, it's Microsoft saying it, but yes, when everyone plays, we all win. That I do like the sentiment behind that.
Yeah. Hence the reason. So all digital. Stay. Yeah.
Sure. As long as we're talking about accessibility in games, Devolver Digital.
Stay indie. Stay indie.
As previously mentioned, Forza Horizon 5 features a wider range of other accessibility options at launch. This includes these options, as detailed by Microsoft, include a game speed modification setting that allows games to play FH5 at a reduced speed when playing offline. High contrast mode. I'm just skipping the descriptions because they're self-descriptive. It has a high contrast mode. It has a color blindness mode. Subtitles with different font sizes. Customized. Okay. Screen reader narrator. Text to speech. Ability to disable moving backgrounds. That would be interesting to see on a racing game. And notification duration settings that allow the player to set how long notifications appear in the game. So I still have a problem with Forza Horizon 5, sir, and that is that this game for all this touting about accessibility and inclusiveness, because it also features the option to make a non-binary character. It misgendered my creation, my character, because I made a character resembling my wife, with her tropical beauty and her hair and the way that I would think she would dress if she was racing on a Formula One car.
No, okay.
Not a Formula car, sorry. A high concept Mercedes vehicle. And the game calls her a him and names him David. What kind of crap is that? All right, I clearly made my character, my wife character. Pronouns her and she. I'm not gonna take this misgendering of this game lightly. I'm already writing a scathing email to Microsoft for not allowing me to customize that properly and making assumption, because how dare they?
Wow.
That was actually the piece of news.
Okay. Interesting. All right. My next piece of news, guys, is the head of Square Enix has claimed that Crystal Dynamics was a bad fit for Marvel's Avengers, giving its lack of experience with games as a service model. You think? I'm sorry.
Throw them under the bus now. It's
seriously under the bus. Like, seriously. Although, to be fair, they're probably right. But still, that is really not, that's not something you want to say out and about. But,
listen, you go to Burger King, or, you don't. You go to McDonald's, you go and ask for sushi there. I mean, whose fault is that? Squeenix? Fucking Squeenix?
What's
whose
worse,
fault is
right?
that?
Asking for, sushi at a McDonald's and accepting sushi at McDonald's. They're two different things. Like, you can ask for it, but they go, dude, we sell burgers. Okay. All right. Well played,
sushi.
right? Well played.
We
but
owe
if
you.
You ask for sushi and they go, well, yeah, sure. I guess we can. Yeah, we put something together that looks like sushi. Yeah, is that meat raw? Yeah, that's meat. Okay, yeah, we got you. We got you, bro. We got you. And then suddenly you get a raw meat burger. Well, then who's the asshole here? Who's the idiot? It's like you asked the wrong folks.
Yeah. I feel that's on them.
Yeah, exactly. Addressing shareholders in a statement published in the company's annual report, President Yosuke Matsuda said Square Enix needed to learn from the game's, quote, disappointing performance, end quote. Notably, he highlighted the importance of matching development studios with, quote, game designs that best suit their skill sets and interests. You think? Dear Lord, my God.
It's like they're discovering,
they're discovering what other folks have discovered decades ago. Dear Lord. Avengers developer Crystal Dynamics is best known as the studio behind the single-player Tomb Raider series, and its next project is in collaboration with Xbox Game Studios on Perfect Dark. Marvel's Avengers was an ambitious title for us as we took on the GAS model, Matsuda said. GAS, for those who don't know, is games as a service. We overcame a variety of unexpected difficulties in the final phase of the game's development, including needing to transition from work from home due to pandemic. We were able to surmount these challenges and release the game, but it has unfortunately not proven as successful as we had liked. Nonetheless, taking on the GAS model highlight issues that we are likely to face in the future game development efforts, such as the need to select game designs that mesh with the unique attributes and tastes of our studios and development teams. And there's a little bit more, but I'm going to stop right there because that pretty much sums up what the problem is. The problem is you asked Burger King to give you sushi, and when they did, you were surprised with the results.
For real. And it Square, it didn't have to be a gas game. It didn't. You wanted to make a gas game?
No, they
It
were
could have
in.
been something else.
That was a
But
problem. Really think about it, right? Marvel's Avengers came out. When did it come out? September? No,
I think it was like last
This-
year.
September
Oh, that's
last
right.
year. Okay, so September last year. Damn, it's been that long. September last year. Okay,
It came out
which means it
now.
was in development for at minimum 3 years before that. So you're looking at 2017. This is when gas was like everything, every fucking company wanted. You know what I'm saying? It's like I get you want that. You know what I'm saying? Because well, that's the new thing. But you gotta have the right people doing this. You know, that's like
Yeah.
making freaking I hate to say it again, Anthem. You know,
Mhm.
what's the name of the team? I don't even know the name of the team. What's the name of the team?
The ones that they BioWare.
BioWare,
Yes.
who have done single player RPGs for all their life. We need you to make a online gas game with mechs and open worlds, and we need you to make content. You know, and did that work for them? No, it did
It's
not. So this is
ridiculous.
literally Square Enix's Anthem.
Yeah.
It's the same
pretty
lesson that
much.
was learned by EA. They're learning it now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah.
like, what took you so long? Well, you guys jumped into the market late, and well, here you go. So
Just I said it before. If you guys want to send a message of the type of games you want to get, consider Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. That game, if it plays like what I imagine the Avengers one would have been,
what about
and it's great. Yeah. So my next piece is kind of a weird one. Turns out that a crime has been committed.
oh
Terrible crime. A truck full of EVGA GeForce RTX 30 the 3000 series
Oh.
graphics cards have been stolen. So that'll be like the 3080s, 3070s, 3060, 3090s, which are like, over $1,000 or 2,000 even. EVGA's product manager, Jacob Freeman, fun fact, I have actually spoken to this guy, or not spoken, tweeted, confirmed on the company's forum that a truck that was moving GeForce RTX 30 graphics card to EVGA's distribution center in California had been stolen. The truck was loaded with graphic cards valued between $329.99, in other words, $700 on the current market, to up to $2,000 MSRP, also known as actually $3,000 in the current market, which likely means anything from from RTX 3060s up to the 3090 models. AVGA is aware of which cards were stolen, so registering them for warranty claims will not be possible. Furthermore, it may lead to EVGA's investigating how the car was obtained and force buyers of stolen goods to be returned to EVGA. If you're not sure, guys, if you're not sure if the graphic card being sold on Craigslist are from a legal source, ask the seller for proof of purchase, or even ask them for the serial code to verify that it was not from the stolen truck. There's a quick message from there here. It says that, please, this is from EVGA. Please take notice that on October 29, 2021, a shipment of EVGA GeForce RTX 30 series graphics card was stolen from our truck en route to San Francisco to our Southern California distribution center. It already mentions what the cars were. Please take further notice that under state and federal law, it is a criminal and civil offense to buy or receive property that has been stolen. California Penal Code Section 496A. It is also criminal and civil. It is also a criminal and civil offense to conceal, sell, withhold, or aid in concealing, selling, or withholding any such properties. Take further notice, further notice that if you're able to successfully register your product and see it under My Products, then your product is not affected by this notice You can also check the serial number at the EVGA warranty check page to see if it is affected. EVGA will not register and or honor any warranties or upgrade claims made on this product. If you have received any information relating to this product, please share that with us at stoprtx30theft at evga.com. We appreciate your attention in this issue. Thank you, EVGA management. That was a heist, bro.
It definitely was.
I
And we
imagine
know
that
why it
being
was
a
done. This
crazy
was definitely
heist.
Fast and the Furious type heist right here. I guarantee you. I guarantee you it was on purpose. You got a bunch of people who are like, nope, we need to get crypto going. We need to get the NFTs going. We need those fucking cards.
Oh, fuck that. We need to scalp the shit out of these cards, you know, on the Craigslist of the world. And
no, I don't think scalpers would do some things, but this right here, this is like grand theft. You know what I'm saying? You're now in the felony territory, and you really don't want to go into the felony territory unless you're like, yeah, we're gonna get. You know,
you think this was you think this was the mafia to do the Bitcoin
mafia.
to do
mafia, what the hell's been
well
mafia? Mafia's still dealing with fucking bullying for all I know. It's just, you know, they're not, you know. This
is why I think these cards now, they're kind of the technology has been implemented at the hardware level to really prevent them from being very effective for mining, and it's done on purpose. Now that doesn't mean that it's infallible, and then maybe hackers know a way of getting around that. But I'm just saying, if these cards, like I also don't give it too much credit. This could have been something very planned and whatever, but with the ultimate recently being just putting them, you're selling them. They don't care. It didn't cost them a dime, so they don't even have to scalp them. It could be whatever price. The problem is they are gonna get scalp prices because people are willing to pay anything and everything for them. But now that the news is out and they say, "Oh, these cars are hot," and hopefully people is gonna be smart and ask them about, "Hey, you know, you have proof of this? Can you let me check the serial number?" Da da da. But you know, a lot of people don't read this kind of news, and they're not gonna know. So
that's one, and two, maybe they do, and they're just like, I don't care. But
they're I'll just don't register it. I'll take the risk. Which will be a moronic thing to do, but people are desperate. I mean, if people are willing to pay double the price of the of them in this market, then I can see them committing stupid, choices like this. So
exactly. Excuse me.
Salute.
A little piece of ice there. My next piece, guys. A way to make Returnal's new suspend feature into a reusable save point has been uncovered. Has been prophesized by our very own
the
Mad Dog Martin. What the hell is it? Nostradamus? No. Nostradamus of our time. Nagmanamenous. Anyway, Returnal's most recent major update introduced a suspend feature, which lets player pause their cycle and continue it later. It means that you can basically exit the game, turn off the console without losing any progress during a session, something that wasn't possible before. In an article on the PlayStation blog, the director stressed that that the feature will simply be a single-use save state rather than a proper save game. By suspending the cycle, Returnal will simply create a single-use suspend point, and once you resume playing from the suspend point, it is deleted and cannot be used again. However, players have found a way. Life finds a way. Players have found a way to manipulate the new feature in order to create an unofficial save point. Games writer Joseph Yaden said on Sunday, past Sunday, that he's been making use of the simple returnal suspend cycle exploit to get help him through the challenging game. This is from his tweet. I gotta say, this method is single-handedly getting me through Returnal. I know people are mad that I'm not playing it, quote, the right way, but I don't have time to continuously die and restart over and over. I'm now enjoying it because of this, and I think it's a positive thing. And then, of course, he goes on to explain how to fucking do it. So after suspending his in-game, his save in-game, he uploaded it to the PlayStation Cloud servers. Upon dying, he found he was able to download the save from the cloud and resume from the same point at which the game was suspended. While Yaden said he hasn't tested this exploit thoroughly, others have found success using this particular exploit. So yeah, there you go.
Oh no!
It
Now we're
exists.
gonna have a bunch of posters that have beaten the game without actually playing it the proper way. You know, that's kind of that's the tragedy here. You know, that people are now having fun with Returnal.
I have fun with Returnal, and I need said exploits. I was frustrated, and I even said it. I think at one point I was like, you know what? I think I might be done with this game. You know what I mean? But I powered through, and it still sits as one of my favorite games of this year. So I will. I mean, hey, to each their own. Whatever you find excitement, and enjoyment in, then do so.
No, I
it
refuse.
seems like a little bit of work to get
He is cheating.
to that, but if you're okay with
Said
doing
work?
said work, yeah, you know what I mean. So
If you wanna do said work, that your motivations are clear at this point. It's you're a villain set in your ways, and there's nothing, no hero can stop you.
Nope.
Godspeed. Just know that your trophies are not as valuable as my trophies.
I will definitely agree with that.
Yes. Oh, maybe trophies should be NTF or NFT.
I'm sure at some point they will be.
Yes. But we just gave away an idea to Sony. There we go.
We sure did.
Thank you, Sony. Well, here's my last one that I want to bring up. And the only reason I bring it up is not so much because I'm interested in the story, but because I found it hilarious that evidently Nintendo has a Bowser problem because,
They just figuring this out after 30 years.
Yes. Well, this must be Bowser Jr. Nintendo hacker Gary Bowser, that is the name, pleads guilty, faces a $4.5 million fine and up to 10 years in prison.
Wow.
51-year-old Canadian hacker Gary Bowser has pleaded guilty to multiple hacking charges and must now pay $4.5 million and could also face up to 10 years in jail. See, this guy gets a fine and up to 10 years in jail time.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, the Returnal guy we're letting them go scot-free. You know what? Because America, bro. That's what we foster. Criminality. We just let them go willy-nilly, while in Canada, they don't stand up for that shit. All right? So, and Gary Bowser has been caught. Bowser has been a long-term enemy of Nintendo.
Damn. A nemesis, apparently. God, okay.
I will say probably of Mario. For his role in Team Executor, a group which designed and sold console mod shipped to allow to play pirated games. Torrent Freak reports Bowser recently charged his plea to guilty, admitting charges of circumventing technological measures and trafficking in circumvention devices. Bowser admits working with Team Executor from June 2013, whom he knowingly and willfully participated in a cyber criminal enterprise that hacked leading game console devices, end quote. Via devices such as the Gateway 3DS, Stargate, True Blue Mini, Classic to Magic, and the SX. I guess those are the devices that he was selling. His plea agreement includes the acknowledgement he developed, manufactured, marketed, and sold a variety of circumvention devices that allowed the the enterprise's customers to play pirated versions of copywritten or copyrighted, I guess is how it's, how it's spelled, video games, commonly refers as ROMs. Team Executor earned at least tens of millions of dollars from the sales of its piracy enabling device, the document revealed, from which Bowser took around $320,000 per year. The company had also used the defense that its devices enable homebrew development while also asking for a license fee to unlock the playing of pirated games. So anyway, Bowser was arrested and deported to the U.S. after being found in the Dominican Republic. And then there was another person that's called Luan who was arrested in Canada, for which the United States is seeking extradition, and a third person, Chen, from Shenzhen, China, who is still at large. So obviously, president of Nintendo, Mr. Bowser, is fed up with Bowser making ROMs and or selling. Sorry, not making ROMs. He's selling the circumvention devices that allow for pirated ROMs to be playable, and he's fed up with that.
Wow.
And I just think it's hilarious that
I think
yet another Bowser.
Another Bowser falls to Nintendo.
On the large. Well, I mean, another Bowser falls to Bowser because Nintendo's CEO. He's Peter Bowser.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, it's Bowser. Yeah,
Peter Bowser, is that his name?
he is a Bowser. Yeah, he is a Bowser.
CEO of Nintendo America. What is his name? Not
Well,
Reggie.
you may go
Bowser.
to
Doug Bowser.
Doug Bowser. Yeah.
So Doug Bowser capture what's his name? Gary Bowser.
My very last piece here, guys, is a little bit of a feel-good story. I don't normally follow stories like these, particularly when they come from Kotaku, but this one caught my eye, and
your heart.
And in my heart, yes, my eye and my heart. You never know what kind of ad you'll find on Craigslist. While some listings may be unorthodox, one gig posted back in late September was wholesome enough to sound like a fairy tale, and this one had a happy ending. I will try to get through this quickly because it's lengthy, but I'm just kind of paraphrasing a lot of this. But first, the call to adventure. Karen Klein, a former legal secretary, and her husband, a retired military officer, started taking an interest in video games earlier in 2021 after looking into options to keep themselves active. I won't question that because let's be real, that's not very active. But ideally, they wanted to pick up something that they could do that could get them moving without leaving the house. As Bruce has some physical limitations. That's when the couple recall visiting Las Vegas and hitting up the video games of the Luxor Hotel with her friends about 20 years ago. Karen decided to buy a console, but she decided to go with the more powerful console, obviously what's available, PlayStation 4 Pro, though she admits the duo doesn't know one console from the other. So, not long after, the two started reading video game reviews. After doing some research, Karen stumbled upon AP Nerd's YouTube channel. It was here that the two saw high praise for a little title called The Last of Us 2 on PlayStation 4.
Jesus.
Apparently, one of the best video games from the past decade, and it wasn't cartoonish like some of the other games the couple had checked out before.
Way to start your collection. God damn.
And they figured if they can conquer...
What's the next one that you're going to tackle? Dark Souls?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You're starting way at the top. And they figured if they can conquer a game like as complicated as The Last of Us 2, surely other games would be a piece of cake. But even after using the ample accessibility options offered by the game, the couple struggled to make progress. They liked the realism, but it also made it hard to figure out where the gameplay began. The cutscenes ended during Tilu's opening act. Still, their sessions were filled with laughs, they admit. We had no idea what we were supposed to do, and we were looking for the little circles with the triangles in it. Bruce said, commenting on his struggles to find Ellie's jacket at the very start of the game. Ellie stayed in that room looking for a jacket for about a day and a half.
It started to sound like one of the episodes of My Girlfriend Plays Dark Souls.
Yeah, I know. In The Last of Us 2, and this it goes into those spoilers, I'm going to skip over this. Last of Us 2, you play as Ellie on her quest. The couple managed to make their way to a specific area where most of the action takes place, but they had trouble knowing what they were supposed to do once they arrived to a particular area. Bruce would say to me, get off the horse, and Karen say, then I would get off the horse, but there's a triangle prompt, so I would get right back on the horse. We don't have the mindset yet to know, we don't have the mindset yet on how to think your way through a situation that I guess gamers learn that maybe it comes easier to younger folks. Rather than succumbing to frustration, Karen drafted up an ad to go on a Craigslist in the hopes that someone might be able to help. The couple received some replies, although kind, but they only suggested they should start with playing video games more appropriate for beginners.
Yeah.
That would probably be what gamers say first, but that wasn't what they were looking for. Eventually, Craigslist post made its way, of course, to the PlayStation 4 subreddit because shit always makes it there. And a particular person called One-Eyed Man said the way it was written and the words they use, like we want to enjoy this diversion, need a person who knows the game and how to work the controller, sounded exactly like what my grandparents would write if they needed a tutor for a new piece of technology. It was ridiculously cute and life affirming and made me think that's how I want to be when I'm that age. So I'm gonna fly through here because again it goes a little bit on, but I do want to give their ages: 79-year-old Karen and 81-year-old Bruce. These are the two.
My
yes.
God, that's awesome.
And so they eventually did get a redditor, one of the guys within that particular group. They hired him to help to tutor them on how to play the game. And so little by little they're still going through it apparently, according to this particular article. The kid who was helping them unfortunately had to stop because he ended up actually getting a real job, so he couldn't keep doing it. But he was helping them out in like 2 to 4 hour sessions, and they still enjoy it. And so I fucking like smile from ear to ear as I was reading this shit. I was like, oh, you're never too late to jump into something like that. Now they fucking jumped in the deep end. Let's be real, but
come on, fucking Dark, fucking Last of Us 2. Come on, you're too late for that. Start. I mean, you should start. Have you heard of Forza Horizon? No. Have you heard of I don't know, freaking don't be. I don't.
What it is. I love what it said at the beginning. It was. It caught their eye because of what it looked like, and it didn't look like the cartoonish stuff they've been seeing most of the time for the console. So because they are of a certain age, cartoons just wasn't for them. So
they're not gonna take Mario.
So they're not gonna play Ratchet and Clank or any of those things. So they're gonna play something that feels a little bit whatever, and it makes sense why they would want to. And I credit them for their effort and still continue to do so. But that's a long game. It's a long game for someone who's played this game, like plays games regularly.
Yes.
It took them a day and a half to get out of the fucking room. That's at the very beginning, bro. That's literally the very beginning. Literally minutes into the game. So obviously, but I get it though. I get it. It's gaming has become way more complex, which is one of the reasons my wife doesn't get into it is because one, it is more complex. The control sticks are something that many people don't get. Yes, we get it because we've kind of like grew into it. Yeah. But it's if you've never touched them, it's a concept that gets very hard to immediately learn.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're talking about some older folks who already probably have some hand-eye coordination issues at this point in their life. You know what I mean? And there is no amount of accessibility issues that can probably correct that. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
I still commend them. I still find that to
Yeah.
be an awesome story, and
Yeah.
you know what? I hope they fucking make it to the end, and they get they get
They
their
get to
ending.
see. They get to. Yeah, they get
Yeah,
to see the end.
yeah.
They're
Like
probably horrified. We're like, what did we just saw? Oh my god! Is this what kids are playing these
the
days?
well, to be fair, it does mention, and I skipped over a lot of it, but it does mention some parts of the game, and they were a little bit taken aback that that's the thing, but that did, and I'm not, I already closed the article, but it
Uh,
basically did give them, because they always just kept the thought process that this is just for kids who, or young people who just want to, not whatever, not they just
mm-hmm.
don't want to do anything and just want to stay home, play video games, and they realize, oh, this is not just that, you know what I mean? And I'm like, if this could be, if we can put a control in everyone's hand, maybe that stigma will finally go away.
Yeah.
You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
That's the reason. That's another reason why I love the story. But anyway, that's all I have, sir, and I think that's all you have. So let's
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our hot topic.
Hot topic.
And we are back, guys, and it is now time for our hot topic of the week.
Hot topic.
Hot topic again, guys, is the Elden Ring gameplay reveal. We finally got to see the game in motion as gameplay, not the beautiful cutscenes that they love to show off.
Or the horrible leak,
The
30-second
leak.
leak that came out, which was surprisingly accurate for what it showed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we got a chance to look at it. I think you saw it twice. I saw it almost twice, and we have kind of a good idea as to what we're getting into. And so we just got some talking points. But overall, sir, before we get into said talking points, what was your overall feeling? What do you thought? What do you think?
It's from just watching the
Yeah.
trailer. I would say, oh, I like my hype level has skyrocketed because I knew that I wanted, like, I knew that this was the next game, the next like power game that I wanted to tackle. Um, from remember, I played and beat Dark Souls actually this year. It happens to have been this year, Dark Souls and Dark Souls 3, and that kind of got me in the mood for those games. Not that I ever had an aversion to them, because I didn't. Uh, but I also was thinking like, sometimes I just get to a point where I just don't want to play anymore because it just gets too complicated or too difficult rather, and and I don't want to deal with that. But no, this time I powered through. I enjoyed it a whole lot. I got the swing of things, and now I see. Oh, by the way, they're making another one. Another one of those, and it's going to be exponentially bigger, and even more interesting and more beautiful and exciting because it's next gen and all that. So, oh yeah, I was like completely in, and this trailer cemented that like fully. Like, okay, there are some things that I've watched that I've seen here that I'm not sure how I feel about them. There's something that I straight up don't like. But for the most part, I am more excited about this game than any other release that might have already come out or that is about to come out, and that includes Halo, and that includes Forza Horizon 5, and I don't know what else. I mean, that fucking includes Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or whatever they're calling it, Horizon West of the whatever. Like, this is the game.
Yeah.
This is the game, man.
Yeah. I have to 100% agree. I also do, by the way, have some concerns which we will get into. with what we saw. And these concerns, believe it or not, we have voiced before, believe it or not. But anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later. Overall, though, there is nothing but excitement. This is probably From Software's and Miyazaki-san's like the, what do they call that when you create the thing that you've been dying to create, all your magnum opus.
Oh, their magnum opus.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like this has to be, or he has to consider. I don't know if it is because we haven't played it. Who knows? But it appears
it certainly
to be,
looks that way.
yeah, his magnum
contents.
opus. It's like, this is what I've wanted to do, and the only limitation to me doing this was always been, the tech that will allow me to do it. We have that tech, and nothing but good things are going to happen from here on in. And that's what it appears like to me. I don't know if you agree with that.
From this, yeah. I mean, looking at the extent of the map that you see in this game, when they open that map, you can almost tell the scale of how huge this part is. I'm gonna invite you, Mad Dog, if you have YouTube open, to open this look up this trailer. Which, by the way, I appreciate the fact that first it was from a stream, so the quality wasn't like super good. Now they actually posted the video as, the pure raw video. Well, obviously YouTube compresses shit and whatever,
course,
but
yeah.
it looks beautiful. So if you go to the 4-minute mark, or sorry, what was it? 4:14 mark. There's of the YouTube video.
But which one? Is there a specific one?
Oh, well, yeah, the preview. I guess I'll send it to you.
Because there's a few. I don't know, and sometimes
the one from Namco direct. Oh shit.
Yeah,
from Namco directly.
Yeah.
At the 4:14 mark, there is a section on the map that I want you guys to notice. That is in the north, and it's like an island, and you see some what appears to be like a structure. It could be like I don't know. It's going to be a castle or a church or whatever it is. It's a map, so you can't really tell. But I want you to pay attention to like what appears to be either a garden area or something in green that looks like little boxes, like little green boxes.
Yeah.
And it has like corridors. You can see the corridors there. You can imagine those corridors area like in perspective to like what your character looks like, and just to have an idea of the scale of the world. And now you just let it run, and you continue seeing how this goes for what appears to be like, gaming terms, miles and miles.
Yeah.
Like he says, he and this, by the way, this is incredibly close to Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I don't doubt that was definitely one of the inspirations.
Yep. Yep.
Where he sets off a waypoint on the map, and then he goes in real, he goes out of the map to the game world, and you see at the very distant, end where that mark is, kind of like to guide you.
Yeah.
Like you make a mark on the world, and now you have this beam of light that appears on the real world where you can actually at least see where the fuck you're going.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
That looks great.
Yeah, it does. In there lies what I consider to be possibly a little bit of an issue, because we all know how, I know you guys know how I feel about like massive open worlds, and this.
You're a big fan.
Sure. I mean, we think of Witcher 3, you're probably right. But then when we think of all the Far Cries and all the fucking, Assassin's Creed, it's like, no, maybe not so much.
Breath of the Wild, which is a Zelda game that you have purposely not gone into.
According to you, I've said this before, that was avoided. We're not going to go into this, but that was avoided because
it's not your game. It's not your game.
There you go. You see
Then
me
again,
also- yeah.
AB Christmas, I thought that it was not gonna be your type of movie, and you fucking love what you saw. So now you can't trust me anymore on that.
I
Don't
think
make
you're
me
probably
make
right.
your decisions. Try yourself.
I think you're right. I think you're right. No, but overall, I mean, that is so. There is just been the trailer. There's a couple of moments
Mhm.
that clearly it's traversing, and it's just a lot of traversing, and it's just like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's something you never had in the Dark Souls games.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of empty spaces. There's
Mhm.
always the danger right around the next corner. And that, not that you
Mhm.
don't have those moments here, but you can have, from what it appears like, just from what we've seen in this trailer, moments where there's just nothing about you. You're just on your horse, you're riding from one area to another. It's like, well, this now feels, it's an element that Dark Souls never had, and I don't know how I feel about it. Essentially, I'm not saying
I-
it's bad or good. I just don't know how I feel about it.
Well, let me ask you, how do you feel about uh, Batman Arkham Asylum versus Batman Arkham Knight?
I mean, it goes without saying, dude. I love Batman Arkham Asylum because it is a much more focused story.
And therein lies Mike. Also, Mike, the concern that I share with you about this open worldness, it's exactly what you said. It's just a vast, beautiful, gorgeous world, mind you, of just traversal. Because I mean, what else could it be? I don't think they're gonna Assassin's Creed this shit to where, well, it has a traversal, which is tiresome, believe me. But at least he also has like treasures or little quests here that you can complete or stuff like that. Like, I mean, I guess it's still early to tell, but from the vibe of the trailer, it doesn't look like it's that. I can tell you that I don't. Maybe there might be like a quest here or an encounter there, but it's not going to be like, oh, the world's gonna be
Chock
filled
full
with
of stuff,
little
yeah,
things of stuff to do. Like in Spider-Man, for example, another game. The game in Spider-Man, the traversal is great. At least, so at least you're enjoying that. On this game, it feels if I need to get on a horse, and you guys knows my feeling about horse riding games. I mean, of games that have horse riding in them. Ghost of Tsushima was the latest one. With that game is fucking fantastic, but I did not enjoy the traversal on that beautiful, gorgeous world. That world is amazing. I did not enjoy the traversal. Something tells me that over here, I'm not seeing anything that. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of beautiful things, but I'm not seeing anything that put my mind at ease. That, well, at least the traversal is gonna be fun. Quite the opposite. It looks like it's gonna be. It could get tedium as hell.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I'm worried about. Just like Arkham, Asylum versus Arkham. Arkham
Any of
Knight.
the other Arkhams. I mean, just really because it just got bigger and bigger from that point. Arkham City, which was the second one, was already expansive. It wasn't a huge open world, but it just had a lot of open space where you spent a lot of time just going from one area to another.
Yes,
and
that is not fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. I mean, it can be fun, and it tried, right? If you thinking of Arkham City, where it's like, oh, you have the grapple hook, and then the grapple hook like it launches you, and now you're just flying. It's like that's cool.
Yeah.
But after 15 hours, 20 hours, I just want to get there. I just want to be there already. I shouldn't be whatever. So that could
it's not
definitely
Spider-Man. I mean, the Batman. Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. The gliding was fun, and the Spider-Man, the swing is fun.
But after a while,
you're riding a horse.
Correct. Yeah, that's true. Exactly. That is fun. That is very different. A way of getting around. And here you're riding a horse. Now the horse seems to be very mystical, not your typical horse.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's still a fucking horse. You know what I mean? It's like it's not doing much. And
it's jumping really high on very specific areas of the map. It can
Correct.
jump real high, which looks dumb, but I understand why they will do it that way at the same time. So it's
Yeah.
not like, it's mystical. So I don't mind that part so much. I mind more the part that, oh, so I guess if I need to go to the other corner, unless the game takes you on a semi-linear adventure, which I don't know how I will, like, I don't want this to be too open where I don't know where the fuck to go.
Yeah.
That was Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
You just didn't know what to do next, and I hated that. So I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be like that. But at the same time, if you make it way too linear to point A takes you to point B to point C to point C, then you're making a big open world. Yeah, but there's like you're missing the point, of it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And every game is going to, even the best ones who have really good content within their chock full world, I think of Witcher 3 and I think of the fact that
yeah.
it had a lot of shit to do, but there were still open spaces. And you know what? I can't complain though. I
Mhm.
enjoyed those moments. I don't recall a bad time with that game. I really, really do not. I mean, it's
No,
just like,
no.
but it is a thing of its time, and we're past that now. So now it's like, okay, what's the biggest, what's the next big thing? And this appears to be it,
Mhm.
because it's bringing in your Souls like gameplay
Mhm.
into a massive open world single player game, single player slash PvP, whatever. So all right. That all being said, sir, just want to jump into some of our talking points, some highlights. I don't know if you want to start. I know you have a buttload of little talking
No,
points.
I don't. I don't. No, no. I no. What I have more because the overall it should come as no surprise. We both very excited for this game, and we want this game,
Oh my
obviously,
God,
to
day one,
succeed
day one.
without.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely, without falling in the trappings of open open world games. And it's funny you mentioned Witcher 3 because Witcher 3 is another game that the world was vast, and yeah, it was it, it was semi-linear in its way, but it still felt like you were going on an adventure to where at the end game you were, if you thought about the things that has happened to you, it almost felt like an epic quest. And this game has the potential to achieve that, and I hope it does it in that way rather than going into the, well, this is a vast world like Breath of the Wild, just tackle it whichever way because you're Dark Souls player, it doesn't matter. You just go at it. Nothing is too like that directionless way, which eventually all gamers are eventually going to agree on the proper order to follow, like every other Dark
yeah.
Souls game,
The
right?
what do you call it? The
The
uh
cons- the
the established order or the the
yeah,
recommended order. Yeah.
yeah. So eventually it's gonna be that. But I mean, when you play it, Mad Dog, do you feel like are you gonna be playing right there along with the community, or
Oh yeah, I
are
am.
you gonna
I'm gonna
separate
be.
yourself?
I am going to be playing along with the community because this is that type of game. This is
Okay.
that type of game. This is from software. You're not there. You're not going to have walkthroughs. You're not going to
Mhm.
have your those books that you can buy.
They'll probably send you
Those
the
things
walkthrough.
are created as you go,
Yeah.
and they know. And From Software knows that, and they're gamers. The games the players who love their games also know that.
Hmm.
So it's like you get it. Now, the reason I'm excited for it is because I will be at that edge. There is no reference to go by. I
Hmm.
now need to test every item, test
Hmm.
every weapon, and decide for myself. And there is a certain level of just freedom, a certain level of, of I don't know, just customizable experience that
Hmm.
comes from that. And so, as much as it feels daunting, because it does,
Uh,
if there's one thing I can say is like if if there was something I was going to run into in Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 1, or anything like that, where it's like, ooh, I don't know what to do here, or let me just find out what this item is, that
Mm.
information was available. Well, it's possible that that information may not be available for some time, and I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to wait. I want to sink my teeth into this particular game immediately,
Yeah,
and if it takes a while, it takes a while. If I had to take a break from it and come back, then so be it. But that is that's how I am rushing into it, uh,
yeah,
going into this one. I am very very excited. The world itself, one of my talking points here that I have listed, the world itself looks really vast, really amazing. It does look massive. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It does look like,
As
man.
you look at that scale, it makes you think like, oh, shit. And that's not to say the Dark Souls games were not, large worlds, because it always felt like you were going to, you were walking quite a bit, and
Yeah,
you get the sense of scale in that game was always spectacular. But I mean, this feels like, okay, let's triplicate that,
yeah,
and hopefully
yeah.
not put a hub world bullshit, because I wasn't very keen on that.
No,
But
I agree, and I think that made sense early on with the Demon Souls
mhm,
and stuff like that, and
the
even
Nexus,
with Dark Souls 3 had sort of a hub place to go back to, but
yeah.
it was very easy to get in and out. And
Well,
then
that's
by the time we played it, to be fair, by the time we played it, we're playing it on PlayStation 5s, and the load times are like nil, when that
mhm,
wasn't the case when that shit came out. So
yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking about lengthy load times just to get in and out, and that can be rather frustrating. So hopefully they have that buttoned up, um
I,
before release.
I tell you what, I might find frustrating is the fact that I don't know how they're gonna, like, one of the things that was very beautiful and magical about Dark Souls, I felt personally, was finding out the shortcut that will tell you to will take you to the place where you need it to be, or you want it to be, or you want it to go, or you might need to go to that allows you to cut your time, if you like, if you needed to get to a boss, and suddenly you don't have to traverse to uh this whole horde of enemies,
Hmm.
because now you have a shortcut that it gets you a little bit closer. Like, I enjoy that. I don't know how you necessarily do that in an open world game. I'm not saying it's impossible, because obviously you get to areas, and those areas are going to be almost like, their own particular stages, right?
Hmm.
So it is possible. I just hope that they have that more than how they had it on Dark Souls 3, where it felt almost non-existent.
Yeah, I it's most well, I don't know. I think Dark Souls 3 did have, like, I think of the
Not a
the
couple,
Cathedral
yeah.
of the Deep, that whole opening up this area to go to this area, and suddenly you go back to the altar area, and it's like five
Mhm.
ways to get there, and you didn't even notice that the first time you came through. I think they will still have that, but I think they will be limited to the dungeons. The open worlds are essentially that, open worlds. So if you're fighting something in the world and you die, chances are you're gonna go back to whatever their bonfire equivalent is, and go right back to, and just rush
I
back
forgot
into
what they
that.
called it.
Yeah, I remember it. And I can't. Or rather, I remember seeing it. As, oh yes, of course. There's a
Of course, it's a
bonfire.
bonfire. Of
Yeah.
course, it is
It's
called
not
something
called that.
else,
It's
but
the
it's a bonfire
illuminating light of some shit. I don't know what it's called, but
of Mordor,
yeah. But
of
it is.
murder, actually.
Yeah,
Murder.
it is. It definitely. I mean, it has these spectacular moments, and I'm just so excited for it, bro. I
I'm
cannot express. Oh, so something else I wanted to bring up. There is this particular thing going around, which I don't know if you've noticed. Hitbox porn. There is a particular part in the trailer that really shows off the glorious hitbox of this game, and frankly,
what I mean.
the you haven't seen the, hold on, let me see if I can send it to you
You
here.
say
Oh,
hitbox. Are you referring? Because I'm thinking. I'm thinking hitboxes as the actual hitbox areas
Yeah,
where you get damage. Like
yeah, yeah.
what about them?
Here, let me send it to you so you can see the. So what I love about Dark Souls and
Hmm.
any From Software games is they're very good at programming these hitboxes. So nothing is more frustrating than playing a game and your character clearly is not in the way of the so-called sword, the sword that's coming down on you, but your character still gets hit. And so this
I
is a
don't because I played Dark Souls when I had that fight with the four kings or whatever the hell it was. The hitbox were very shitty on that
I don't
particular
know. I
fight.
don't
To be
recall.
fair, it was only on that fight, but I remember it very well, being very frustrated because it's like I'm hitting them and it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
And it turns out that I needed to be like literally like right there, like in there,
Yeah.
right in
Well,
front of
that
their
was because
noses.
that's because you couldn't tell the distance, and
I
and
couldn't
and
tell
that was yeah, and
the
that was a
depth,
common thing. That was a common thing. So it's not like it was
and also it was a dark room. There was no
yeah.
way
There was
to
no
there was
no
no reference because
yeah,
it was
exactly.
literally all darkness except for the
Yeah.
for the king. So
It
yeah,
is a
yeah,
tough fight, and but once you understood, oh, I need to be little, because the deal is you're like you don't even know how tall they are. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah,
like so you realize, oh, these fuckers are tall. It's like shit. I need to
yeah.
be right up on them.
I see what you
Um,
mean. The hitboxes where it's like, yeah, that's the enemy attack, and it doesn't mean that, oh, just because they attack and I was in front of them,
correct.
I automatically get hit. No, in this case it means, hey, if
Yeah,
my body is not in the position of that sword, is not gonna, or that spear in this case, it's not gonna hit me.
and it's just beautiful. And
Yeah,
and and and
that
I
is
would definitely
beautiful.
tell you one of the best examples of this is Sekiro. Sekiro has
Mm,
excellent excellent freaking displays.
hitbox.
You can see
Oh,
so many of these little gifts that I've sent you, or whatever videos, so
mm,
many of them in freaking Sekiro, because they're designed so well. They really really know it, and to see it here, it's like, okay,
mm,
it's open world, but worry not, the
yes,
programming and everything we had behind it is still there. And I'm like,
yeah,
good job
yeah,
from good
yeah.
job.
I tell you one thing that I saw that concerned me.
Okay.
Uh, uh, even more so than the traversal, and that was, and hopefully this is just the demonstration of it and not how the game will play. But I didn't see that. I didn't see any fall damage.
I
It
did
felt
see,
like
yeah, I did
enemies
see
could,
that.
like the characters could just leap from like incredible distances and land like nothing, not even a change. Like it could have landed from 2 feet, but they are jumping from like 3 stories, uh and that look ugly. I hopefully they won't, hopefully that's
I
just the demo.
Here's what I think. This is because I'm just a
Mm,
freaking conspiracy theorist. I think this is
mm.
from software trolling us. I feel like they're gonna let us just
Oh,
roll into the game and go, well,
oh.
hey, we were able to jump, and then figure out the long ways. Like, yes, there's fall. Maybe the fall damage
You
isn't as
die.
bad, you know what I mean? But there is still fall damage, and
It
it's
should
like
still be. That should still be,
there
because if you
has to
fall from,
be, yeah.
like, that was one of the things that was one of the gravity was one of the main enemies of that game,
Dude, are you
and has
kidding
always
me? Hell
there has
yeah,
always been. So if you
hell yeah.
take that out, now my character is like, what, like a superhero, like it doesn't matter. Like if I jump from, the top of the highest tower, or worse yet, if I get, like, there was a part of the video where you're fighting some like skeletons that are up there in a tower, and you're right there with them. And when they use their weapons, it seems like it has some sort of like air or wind, push powered,
Yeah.
where the character avoids, it dodges. But if you would have been grabbed on it, it probably would have put you off the ledge. And like I had me thinking like, well, if I fall, it's not gonna be a big deal, right? Because there's no fall damage evidently. That sucks.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, the other thing is think of the horse, right? It's like this horse is jumping up and down from high
the
spots.
horse is
Like,
the horse
well,
is spiritual, so I'm willing to
yeah, but what are we, the
forgive
tarnished,
that one.
right? So it's like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
agree though. It did catch me by surprise the moment he jumped off. I think he was following someone he was playing co-op with
Uh-huh.
in the demonstration. It was like
Yeah.
he just jumped off the thing, and then he followed suit. And he's like, "Oh, so no worries, huh? I guess you know what I mean." And when he's at the camp and he's looking down, with the binoculars, or he or she's looking down with the binoculars, it's like okay. And then they just make their way down by leaping down. I was like, "Damn!" Now, to be fair,
Yeah.
with all the Dark Souls, there was a level of understanding that there's certain things that are going to cause damage, and there's nothing you could do. It's just it
Yeah.
had to be accepted as you. It's just going to cause damage. It is what it is, and you heal
Mm-hmm.
when you get out. You know what I mean? So is that the case? Maybe. And we're just because the
Maybe.
other thing is when you see the entire trailer, you're not seeing the HUD. You have no idea. It could be causing damage. We're just not seeing it. So that's a little
Yeah, you
bit.
don't see any like there's no indication like, for all intended purposes. There's no indication of you know damage being taken. There's nothing, which is what has me a little worried because
I agree.
like that will be a radical change from
Extreme change, yes.
yeah, and
Extreme change.
not on the
Although
positive
not too
side.
extreme if you start again going to Sekiro. Sekiro, there wasn't any fall damage that I can recall
Yeah,
of.
but Sekiro is the Sekiro might as well be a different type of game.
True, true, yeah, true, yeah.
Yeah,
There was, but there may have been some fall damage. But he was able to again leap further, essentially. So,
right.
so it was just a different level. So maybe that's the case. I don't know.
Yeah,
Something else that I'm looking at the trailer right now, and I wanted to bring up was the summons, right? Or whatever they are, spirits, or whatever it is you're doing.
I had a question on that. Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
looks like they're based on the weapon. Like the weapons have skill now.
I don't know, but it's very interesting, and I don't
Hmm.
know how I feel about it. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, I don't know
I
if they
love
can
it.
be spammed. You know what I mean? To the point where, well, shit. I mean, we're gonna fight anything, and I
Oh,
can just spawn anybody I want.
spawn.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, I don't
And
think I don't
and
think
play
so.
interference or something like that. There was an article. And this is the part where I'm just watching it again. I have it on loop right now. I'm just kind of just
Yeah,
watching.
me too.
Yeah, and they're leaping down in not the NPC but the uh co-op player, and there he goes from that height. Just looking at that drop from that height,
Should have
that's
killed.
death in
Yeah,
in Dark Souls. That's
that should
there's
have
no
killed.
yeah there's no just getting hurt and hobbies fight. That's death. So
Yeah.
I feel that's shown on purpose to say, hey, maybe this is a little different. Is there damage still being taken? We don't know because we can't see the health bar. But I think they're setting the groundwork on here, and maybe it's a change.
Mm,
Who knows? I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe because it's an open world, maybe you don't want that. You know what I mean? Or maybe you really should have a
Yeah.
bigger distance for jumping. I don't know.
I kind of do because, like I said, it will it will be drastically simplified if suddenly there's no fall damage.
Well,
Uh,
traversal will be simplified. You know,
well,
everything else
but I
won't
don't mean
happen.
I don't mean it, no. I'll honestly I think the entire because you're taking away fall damage now. Suddenly altitudes don't matter. Like you're going, well, the worst that
Yeah,
can be is like,
I
well,
doubt
I
that. Yeah,
feel, yeah,
I doubt that
I,
it's like from any height. I really feel like I think the height has been extended.
extended.
Yeah, I feel like that's where. Yeah.
I still don't like because that even introduces even more uh incertidumbre. ¿Cómo se dice? How do you say that? Like
Some
you don't know.
supernatural abilities or
Well, no, I mean like your uncertainty. That
Oh,
that
oh, oh.
that brings more uncertainty because now it's like, well, at what distance? I mean, I know I can jump. I can, I can throw myself from this ledge, but how far can I fall? Like, I don't want to be thinking on that. Yeah,
Honestly,
I'd
bro,
rather
that
be like, yeah,
a
that
lot
looks
of
far enough where I will
a
probably
lot of
die.
my Dark Souls early days was learning that because there's
Experiencing
no
that.
yeah, you have no idea. You know you can survive it, and there's going to be some sort of damage, but you don't know
Mm-hmm.
if it's kill damage or just hurt damage. And honestly, I was figuring it out most of the time. I was like, well, fuck it, let's just do it. Let's see what it does. And yes,
You die.
sometimes you die, but the whole deal is you wouldn't. I don't know about you, but I would like, all right, let me see if I can go spend some souls, whatever it could be, and get out of the way, and let me try it now.
Yeah.
And then you figure out the hard way. It's like, oh, I can make it, or no, that's definitely not that's not
Yeah.
manageable. So it's not horrible. It's just changing the distance. Because it's such a big world, maybe that's something you need. Maybe it's like, well, the other fall damage is in this world too small, and we're trying to make
Mm,
it more grandiose. You know what I mean? And if in
mhm.
order to do that, we need to expand your fall damage, and that doesn't mean you
Yeah.
don't take fall damage. It's just, hey, it's you're a little bit extended. You can still
You,
die if you decide to fucking leap from too big,
mhm.
from too high. You know what I mean? So
You
I
know
don't
what it
think.
is?
Mm.
I think I just don't like the idea that I'm not gonna have a character that can go around going like rainbow
Because your
and
character does
put it so
rainbow.
that yeah, put it so that that fall protection damage, that fall damage protection spell.
I think you will still have it, sir. It just, again, the damage will probably just again. This is an assumption. We can be being trolled right now from freaking. I still say you never know. We could be being
Yeah.
trolled by From Software, and they're gonna like, these guys are gonna think they can fucking leap off everything, and early on, everybody's gonna be fucking dying. Like, wait a minute, the trailer said we saw it, right? Yeah. So what do you think about that weird little talking vase or vase, depending?
well, idea. I like the idea of it, like the idea of having like whimsical characters and stuff like that. Um, it almost again feels like, oh man, so you still hit a miss on the voice department, huh? Dark Souls, even though you're not Dark Souls, but
Yeah.
it's almost like he's a vase, but he's talking like he's a very normal
He's a
person with no
a
sense of,
British actor, yeah.
yeah, some regular British dude, that is visiting, and no, like, I mean, put a fucking, I don't know, put an echo, put a reverb, put something that make it sound like the mystical being he is. It's almost like the what's the character, the serpent character from Dark Souls,
Oh,
the
well, there's two, Framp and I can't
Framp.
remember the
It's
other one.
is I don't remember the other one, Zack, for all I care.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Framp, and then you see this character with this, this serpent with teeth, and he just speaks to you like, I don't know, like the late Sean Connery or something. It's like it's
Oh my
completely.
god, yeah. No, I can't get past that, but let me see. Dark Souls Framp.
You're trying to look for the other one. You
Yeah, I'm
forgot
looking
the
for
other
the other
one.
one.
Yeah, the
Framp,
other one. The other one is
Kingseeker Frampt, and he's a primordial serpent.
What's the evil primordial serpent? His name is Wendell. Wendell the Serpent.
It could
There
be.
you go.
Let's just look at Dark Souls Serpent. Maybe that'll help.
While you look for it,
Kingseeker Frampt, and no, Koth.
Kath. Yeah, you go.
Koth. Yeah, Koth's the other one. Okay,
There you go. Happy you satisfy your curiosity.
I did.
To get back to what I was saying. Okay,
Sorry.
so
Move
what I was saying was that I appreciated the fact that the game obviously is gonna have like catacombs and stuff like that because it's that type of game, and the catacombs on it, they look very close to the catacombs
It was like
of
every
Dark
other
Souls.
fucking
It's like
catacombs in the world,
I'm
sir.
gonna tell you one
I was a
thing.
little bit disappointed in that. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, so this is every catacombs is the same
This
thing.
the
Yeah.
cat. Well, there is.
And they're the worst. I hate them. I dread them every time I see them. It's like, oh, here's
No.
where we go underground and have to deal with skeletons and
The skeletons will
poison and
die, or they will
like,
revive
yeah, oh
again until
dear
you kill
lord,
like that.
yeah, it's
And
yeah,
it's probably gonna be hard as hell the first time you encounter them. The thing that I noticed is that there is a hell of a lot of asset reuses here. Not that they're out of place, because obviously it makes perfect sense to have them, but like you could definitely tell, like, oh yeah, that's
yeah,
definitely absolutely
yeah.
100% the
Oh,
treasure from
even
Dark
the
Souls,
castle.
and
Even the
the
castle that you traverse, it's
castles,
like, well, this
the
looks very similar.
skeletons, the way they
Yeah.
wake up and
Oh yes. Oh my God, they do.
they
Yeah.
tap their heads and
Yeah.
kind of like
I mean,
put
it's
them in
all high
place.
def and all SSD and you know 4K and all that. It doesn't matter. You can still see what it is. The little, I'm sure they're not called souls, but this the little
Mm-mm.
light beams that exist on top
That
of the dead
there,
bodies are laying
yeah,
about. It's like it's all
yeah.
a lot. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I will have to say that is a strike on it. You know what I mean? It's like so this is essentially a upgraded Dark Souls 3. Is what
Yeah,
it comes down to. You know what
this
I mean?
is this is yeah
Yeah.
this is a spiritual successor to Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
This is not Dark Souls 4 in name, but in spirit it's like it's the
Correct.
natural evolution of it.
Correct.
Make it open
Jumping, by the
world and all
way,
that.
jumping appears to be a lot easier. It looks like this is a button
Yes,
jump as opposed to a run jump. So that's
yes.
another thing, which I don't know if
About
you noticed.
time.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed. It's like, oh, so now, but again, and I know it's not the same lineage, although it is the same developer. You gotta thank Sekiro for that, because Sekiro
Yeah,
has a jump feature. That's one of the
yeah.
first things that stood out when they did Sekiro. Was like, oh shit, you can jump. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, yeah. Not only that,
Yeah.
they also don't take fall damage, but whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, but that didn't take away from the difficulty behind it. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
um, I am also curious, and this is just an observation. It could just be the choices that were made by the person who was demoing it, but there seemed to be a good amount of what appears to be awesome, like magical attacks,
Mm.
and that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
for talking to somebody who's always been very dex heavy in all these games, it's like, not that I don't want to wield a sword, but this particular character is wielding an axe and a sword and throwing magic. I'm like,
I'm trying to imagine.
okay,
Yeah.
you can, I feel like maybe there's a little bit of room to customize and not be stuck in one
Yeah.
type.
Once a mage, always a mage.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. And what did you think about that? Because I was just like, oh yeah, I don't know if you noticed that, but I was like, this
I,
dude has an axe. He just took
yeah.
somebody out with a magic spell that has three people jump out of nowhere and hit him with an axe
Mm.
and then disappear. You know what I mean? And then he puts the
Uh,
axe away, and then now he has
yeah.
this great sword. I'm like, oh shit, this is it's a little bit of a mix.
I mean, personally, I'm a fan of classes and segregating the class
Of
the
course you
different
are, you
classes.
damn dinosaur. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I like I will be okay with allowing your kind of like almost like a job system. Well, I don't know if I want to call it a
Mixing of
job system,
classes.
but
Yes, I got you.
mixing like I don't want to have uh a character that can do everything, because then there's no distinction. There's no builds for that. It's just, hey, I could be a battle mage. Well, okay, if you want to be a battle mage, then probably don't excel at either. Be right in the middle. Have some sort of balance. Yes, you have cool spells and all, but you don't have the coolest spells like a mage. or you don't hit as hard as an actual barbarian, for example, or something like that. Yeah, I'm okay with having a little bit of mix, but I just don't want the character that can do it all, because then
Yeah, I can agree
everybody's
with that.
that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And yes, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think it will be impossible to, because I mean, not be impossible. Who knows what they design here? But just based
Mhm.
on prior Souls games, the the chances of getting that much in your first run are
Mhm.
very limited. You really
You're gonna
needed to
want to
focus.
specialize.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you really need to focus. And but I do, or rather, I should say, I would like to say, okay, so you don't have to be a barbarian. You can be, somebody who's a little bit more specialized. And you can have
right.
elements of it. That's how the high character
Yeah.
was in Dark Souls 3, which was, yeah, I went with the Dex heavy guy, but he was a pyro. He
Mhm.
had pyro powers, which I use all the time. And it's like I love to be able to expand on that without jeopardizing other, you know what I mean, other things. Like
Right.
maybe you don't have to have everything, but maybe if you can main one and secondary another, that could be
Yeah.
something cool, you know. And so
Yeah.
hopefully that's what I from the trailer it appeared that that's what, just from that the sample that I mentioned, where it's like, oh shit, so this dude, he's an axe wielder, but he's also dropping some heavy ass fucking magic spells. So I'm like, oh shit, that sounds pretty cool, you know.
Unless it's just for the demo.
Exactly. Which who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. Any final thoughts, sir, on our Elden Ring
No, I mean,
gameplay?
this is I still feel like it feels a little silly to be calling it this is a collaboration of uh uh, Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R. Martin. When I feel that it probably went more like we already have the assets. We already know how to make a Dark Souls game. You know who's hot right now is the Game of Thrones, and we should talk to that actor and get some input. And then George R. Martin went with his ideas, and then Japanese developers tend to do with ideas that are foreign, were like appreciate your input. We're gonna consider some things over here, and we'll use it. I appreciate your time with the Lord, but we're just gonna continue making our game. Thank you, and appreciate you sharing your just go up front. Sayaka will have your check, and
Yeah. And then we'll validate your parking. Yeah.
yes, exactly. I feel like that's the collaboration, because even in the way that they keep expressing it, it feels like, come on, guys, this ain't Game of Thrones. This is not that type
Oh
of lore.
no.
In no
I,
way, this is not
I
gonna
think
be that type of political
yeah.
thing or anything like that. This is just still gonna be fantastical and as abstract as all hell. Maybe
I mean, we still have a firekeeper. We still
yeah, exactly.
none of that has
She's
changed,
gonna mend
guys.
my
Yeah,
world,
yeah,
or she's gonna I'm gonna have to touch the darkness within her, or whatever
exactly.
the
We're
hell is
gonna
the
obviously
way that
have
I'm gonna
some
level
really
up.
weird innuendo happening. Yeah,
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 it's
yeah, yeah.
just still gonna be the same
We're
stuff.
still gonna be the Dark Lord at the end, or
Yes,
reclaim the fire. I mean, that's about it.
yes, yes.
I don't
Uh,
know. I think I mean it was mentioned that he just did the lore. You know what I mean? So
mhm,
I think all the the lore in from software type of games always come from the items, the armor, and everything. It
mhm,
just has these little story bits
mhm.
that go with it, and they're all interlinked in somehow. And so that's what he did. If that's what he did, it's like, okay, well, if that's what he did, then
I'll take that.
exactly, I will take that because it comes
Mhm.
from a different mind, right? Because otherwise, if you keep getting the same guys writing it, it's gonna feel all similar.
Yeah,
And so who knows? Maybe those little bits and pieces are what's been. I feel like we saw the gameplay here, but I feel that there's going to be a lore video uh before
Yes.
release,
Makes sense.
and just to give you a little bit of what really is happening. What does it
Mm,
mean to be the tarnished?
mm,
And I feel like
mm.
that's the next little bit of information that they release. I don't know, obviously for sure, but if they do, I think from there we could go. Oh,
Oh,
I
they did.
see the George R. R. Martin, or I hear, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe, or maybe we just go, oh, there's fucking just stupid ass Game of Thrones again. So okay,
Or no, maybe we go the other way. It's like, oh, okay, nothing makes sense here.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
I guess I'll wait for the
it's
game.
basically Dark Souls. Okay,
Yeah, exactly. It's like Dark Souls 4. Okay, gotcha. All right.
gotcha.
Yes.
Well played,
The
guys. Well played.
flame. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that was our thoughts and comments and feelings behind the gameplay reveal. If you haven't seen it, I think Santos, you already posted on the group. So
I'm gonna
please,
post this new version because this new version looks amazing, and I'm gonna invite you all to look at the video at the 3:30-ish mark, or 36, where I have it paused right now, where the freaking screenshot looks like a little oil paint. It looks so gorgeous and beautiful. I am super excited about playing this game.
yeah.
This was all PC footage,
It
evidently,
is, yes.
according to
That's
them.
right. Important to note, this is
Yeah,
all PC footage.
yeah.
So we hope console versions will run,
We'll
close
live up. Yeah, yeah.
to that as well, and
I don't see why
not
not.
get stuck in it. And I'm telling you right now, we said it before. From software, when games are coming out at 60 frames per second, 1080, if you drop this shit to 30, you done fucked up.
You done
I'm
fucked
telling you
up.
right
Yeah.
now, you done fucked up.
This is the point where Mad Dog buys a PC to play this
It
game at
just
60.
may be. It just may be. I'm not even gonna lie, because I'm like, and then I will be pissed. I will be rage playing this game because I had to spend
Over
yeah,
$1,000.
just to play this game in what you have
Like,
shown me.
look what
And
you make me
yeah,
do.
yeah,
You're making me play this on a PC.
yeah. And mind you, that may also backfire for me either, because let's be real, From Software hasn't been known to deliver any great PC ports for anything. So
Yes, that's
let's
legit.
call
That's legit.
yeah, let's call that what it is. So yeah. So anyway, this brings us to the end, as always, of an awesome episode 287 of GG's a Mouthful Podcast. As always, guys, if you have not already gone, please go to goodgame.rocks, join the conversation there, and of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off this week, saying, "Fear is the mind killer."
You ought to
Mr.
change it.
Davis,
by
I
now.
know I
You
am
have used
changing
3 times already in a
it.
row, and
No,
I was
it's still we're still on that boat.
on the Dune, huh?
Yeah,
All
on the
right,
Dune,
all
yeah.
right. Next thing you know, you're gonna be on your new PC. You're gonna be playing Dune from 1992, I think it was, whatever the hell it was that it was released. My last words are actually a question, sir.
Oh,
Will you play Elder Rings with me, or would you play by yourself?
I think I could do a little bit both. Because I
All right.
think the game, it kind of opens up to that. It's like, well, when I'm playing, I can traverse certain areas, and then when we can play together, I do want to play together though. That's the beauty of
And
playing it when it first comes in. It's like,
let's be
well,
real.
now we're all new to this. No one's
Yeah.
gonna be bodying shit early on.
Nah.
And so yeah,
Chaos is not gonna have it. Any other Chaos and Dark, they're just not gonna have it. If we're either need to be, I need to buy 2 versions. Did you know that? Because I would love to play this on PC and all that, but if my friends are playing on PlayStation and this shit is not crossplay, then I'm screwed. I'm gonna have to buy 2 deluxe editions.
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, I hear you.
so say we
Yeah.
all.
All right, guys. Again, that brings us to the end, and as always, we'll see you next week. GG.
Nice.
Oh yes, Mr. Nickelodeon.